Political Killings Task Team, claiming Police Minister Senzo Mchunu was being advised and influenced by someone to disband the team. Mchunu issued a letter to National Police Commissioner Fani Masimola on December 31st last year, calling for the disbandment of the task team, but also issuing an instruction to freeze the filling of crucial posts within crime intelligence, something Mkhwanazi says needed to be urgently addressed.
For us not to fill up vacancies that are critical within the space was going to have an impact in our efforts to fight crime.
Mkhwanazi says KZN has been without a provincial crime intelligence head for some time. Aryan Singh, Eyewitness News.
For live updates on the Commission, visit ewn.co.za or watch live proceedings on our YouTube channel. A non-profit hospital outside Modimole in Limpopo has stepped in to assist underprivileged people living with blindness caused by cataracts. Specialist Eye Hospital for the Blind focuses primarily on cataract surgery, a leading cause of preventable blindness. The hospital charges market rates for patients with medical aid, which helps fund surgeries for those who can't afford treatment. Tandolu Ngcobo visited the hospital to see how the NPO is changing lives by restoring the gift of sight.
In the heart of Waterberg, a small but remarkable non-profit hospital is transforming lives by restoring sight to those living with preventable blindness. The hospital houses 2 fully equipped day theatres and a team of experienced ophthalmic surgeons who perform dozens of sight-restoring procedures each month. The program's art curator, Johan Stegman, says the goal is to provide credible, affordable solutions for preventable blindness.
The only organisation really addressing this is government, and the aim of Hope for the Blind is to create a private industry venture with the express purpose of helping the government address this issue.
Stegman says part of the unique experience is First Light, an on-site art initiative that allows patients to view works by prominent South African artists moments after their eye patches are removed. Tandolu Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
And Britain, Australia, Canada and Portugal have recognized the state of Palestine, marking an historic shift in decades of Western foreign policy. Palestinians in the besieged Gaza Strip welcomed the recognition as a victory, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed in response that a Palestinian state would never exist. The US also criticized the move as performative, saying it's focused on finding a diplomatic solution to the Israel-Hamas conflict. Here at home, pro-Palestine activist groups held a sit-in at Greenpoint Park in Cape Town yesterday to mark 100 weeks since the start of the war. Kaylin Pretorius was there.
Pro-Palestine activist groups met at Greenpoint Park to observe the 100 weeks of conflict. During this time of reflection, the groups also reflected on the issues of violence prevalent across the Cape Flats. This includes the murder of a 14-year-old boy in an attack believed to be gang-related. Founder of Mothers for Gaza, Aisha Begas.
We're wanting to mobilize because the struggles are connected and we can't fight for Palestine, which is far away, and not be visible in our own communities.
Altis River community worker Steve Ross.
If predominantly religious leaders, pastors and imams and priests in the community can really start addressing this from the pulpits as well. That type of messaging can come from the spiritual leaders of our community.
5 suspects allegedly linked to the murder of the 14-year-old boy will appear in the Goodwood Magistrates Court later today. Kaylin Pretorius, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,685.59 an ounce. The rand's at 17.34 to the dollar, 23.36 to the pound, 20.37 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.05 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays on the city of Tshwane along the R80 East Mabopane Highway. This is between the R55 and Eskia Drive. There's also queuing traffic already on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks.
And in your sport, a late injury time goal gives Arsenal a 1-1 draw with Manchester City and keeps them second on the table behind Liverpool, while Aston Villa have yet to taste victory this season. Team South Africa returns home from the World Athletics Champs with 1 bronze medal in the men's 4x400. Max Verstappen wins in Azerbaijan as championship leader Piastri crashes out.
A look at the weather. Clear skies for Gauteng. Johannesburg starting at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria 15 and 30. Vereeniging 12 and 27. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. The ANC and EFF say they're unfazed about Helen Zille running as Johannesburg's mayoral candidate for the DA.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Eight minutes after 6 o'clock, it's the start of a brand new week. It's Monday, the 22nd of September, the year of our Lord, 2025. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. My name indeed is Bongani Bingwa. Where are you this morning? Are you in Meyerton, Mirafong, Lynn East, or Lyndhurst? See what I did there? Hurlingham View, Irene, Bryanston, Dennerboom. It doesn't matter wherever you are around the world. We are the station that aims to reach you. We'll tell you what's going on in the world, hopefully make sense of it, and you can make your decisions accordingly. As always, of course, I'm with a team of esteemed colleagues, only the best in the business. Talking of business, Muteo Haripe is out for the week. We welcome back the stunning Nokukanya Mdambo. Good morning.
A very good morning to you, Bongani, and to the 702 Landers as well.
Great to have you on the team with us once again. Amoramila, of course. I feel like I'm with the ladies this morning.
It is.
Hey?
Oh, it excites me so much. It really does. Yeah.
And we have the lovely Orili Kalinga reading the news this morning.
Powerhouses.
Bevy of beauties.
And Cindy on sport.
Right? Beauty and brains. All with me this morning. But KG messes up my story.
Angfungo KG.
KG will be starting this.
Angfungo KG.
We should have had Palisa come in, right?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Producers Bapelile and Samtanda taking your calls in the booth. Simple question we're asking you this morning. What are you looking for in a mayor? What do you want in a mayor? You'll no doubt, of course, would have heard on Saturday the DA formally announcing Helen Zille as its mayoral candidate for the city of Johannesburg. Is that something that you give a thumbs up to? You heard in Eyewitness News there, they played a clip of Gwede Mantashe, the ANC chair, saying it is a myth that the DA does it better. I mean, it's only their president who told us that last week. And he says even if they do well for the suburbs and they neglect the townships. Because again, you might argue the ANC loves the townships so much, they don't neglect them. Alexandra is a beacon of hope just across the road from where we are in Sandton, because the ANC loves townships so much. The people in Coronationville might disagree with how much he thinks the ANC loves townships. I watched with some interest. Helen Zille was on Newsroom Africa yesterday, and the anchor, Xolim Gambi, pressed her on whether she would declare what's unfolding in Gaza as a genocide. And she dodged the question. She just wouldn't answer it. Do you want a mayor whose politics reflect your values around solidarity, around equality, around freedom struggles? Or do you want somebody who's most concerned about making sure there is electricity, the water is delivered, and it's clean, the roads are paved, and they're clean? Because that's what she promises, good governance. Johannesburg has a bloated administrative staff of something like 40,000. It isn't just showing up in mayoral chains and cutting ribbons and waving at the crowds and hugging grannies and kissing babies. There's a lot of work to be done. Do you think she has the energy, the gusto to still do it? And if not her, who else? Do you want to stay with what you know, with what's familiar? Do let us know. We'll speak to her in the first hour of the show. And sticking with the theme of revitalizing our city, I'm very pleased to tell you that we've got the ABSA Group CEO joining us this morning, who's going to tell us about what they are doing to revitalize the city, including this race on Heritage Day that's going to take place in the CBD. Thousands of runners. Whilst some corporates have left the Johannesburg CBD, ABSA is staying firmly rooted in the center of Johannesburg. And part of what they're doing is, in partnership with people like Josie My Josie, is to say, we also, as ordinary citizens, have a role to play in the revitalization of our city. So I'm really, really pleased about that. And then just before 9, we're going to speak to the founder and principal of Stageworks School of the Performing Arts. But one of their star performers is also going to join us, and we'll tell you about an outstanding show you can go and watch at Monte Casino's Teatro.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
13 minutes after 6 o'clock. Let's start with that question. Amoramila, what do you look for in a mayor? Good morning.
Good morning, Bongs. Morning 702 lenders. Definitely no action speaks louder than words. So I don't want to hear your long speeches. I don't want to hear promises on end. I want to see things being done. That's all.
What matters to you? Clean streets,
Clean
sewage
streets,
removed?
provision of services, electricity, water, ensuring that hospitals and clinics are running at the services that they're supposed to be providing. No delays, no backups. That's all I want.
That's what you want. All right, Nokanya Mdambo.
I agree with Amu. Service delivery first, especially for a mayor. I mean, it's really important that I align with your policy perspective on a national front. But in all likelihood, I would have been part of that, as part of the party that you're in. But when it comes to local government, you've got to be delivering the services.
Here's the difficulty is that we are increasingly in South Africa focusing on personalities rather than policies, right? It takes a whole team of people to run a city. No single mayor could do it on their own. So even if you think this person could be the face of service delivery, there's a whole bunch of people that have to be part of that machinery that gives the city those services. I mean, Johannesburg has a reported 40,000 strong administrative staff. Many of those people are in those jobs because they were there, because somebody knows somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. Not all of them, I would imagine, are the most competent. Hence, we've got some of the problems that we do. How do you deal with those people on day one? That's one of the questions I'll put to Helen Zille.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
It's a 6:15. How was your weekend? What did you do? What did you get up to? Amo, did you have fun? Kids, family?
I did. Oh, I had such a great time. I went to a wedding. It's been a while.
Yes, of course.
It is actually wedding season, come to think of it, right?
Because the weather's just right.
Yeah, it is beautiful. And it was a beautiful wedding, garden kind of wedding. And then I just relaxed on Sunday. So I had a good weekend.
She looked spectacular at the wedding.
Thank
She did.
you.
She did. She has a way, our Amo, of just, you can check her out on her Instagram page. She looked really, really fantastic.
Thank you.
No, Kanya, your weekend?
I had a really quiet weekend. On Saturday, I just had lunch with a friend that I hadn't seen in a really long time. And then yesterday, I was here at the office. Very quiet.
Working hard. Some of us were at the DSTV Delicious. I had a number of 702 listeners coming up to me saying, are you going to be at work tomorrow? Are you going to be at work tomorrow? And I said I would, and here I am. But if you're somebody, for example, who is into the world of sport and athletics, what a thrilling championship, the World Athletics Championship in Tokyo. What about this moment? Did you watch it? Do you remember this? When we got gold for Botswana.
Meters done. Who's leading? Nene maybe marginally here, although the stagger unwinding in the favour of Kabinat Shippy in the light blue. He's running a lovely race here at the moment. Patterson for the USA has got a lot of work to do from lane 3. They come into the straight now. Kabinat Shippy in the lead. What's the time? This is going to be fast. Coming through wonderfully. Jareen Richards over in lane 2. Trinidad and Tobago going to take silver, and it's going to be gold for Botswana. 43.54 for Kabinat Shippy. It's yet another.
The fantastic 21-year-old Colin Gibenatsipi making history as the first athlete from his country to win a world title at a men's event, winning, of course, that 400-meter final. And he and the team also took a victory lap because they were part of that relay team. We also saw Letsile Tebogo shining at the championships, winning his 200-meter heat. Our own Wade van Niekerk getting a podium finish for the first time in 2017. Since 2017.
We knew the South Africans will put down a very great show. They also did in Bahamas on the heat, and we knew we shouldn't undermine them. And we are very happy with how they came, but we wanted one to know the United States. So I'm happy with how they displayed and how they represented Africa, because it's not just about the two countries, it's all about the African continent. And we are hoping to see more African countries into the 4x4 final.
I mean, it was that incredible picture finish. That, of course, that 400-meter hurdles team, not 400 4x400 meter relay. South Africa claiming bronze, the states second, and of course Botswana taking it away. But our runners Pile, Nene, Okon and Van Niekerk celebrating winning bronze in the 4x400 relay in Tokyo on Sunday.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
It's 18 after 6. Nokanya Mdama, you've got a question of your own?
I certainly do, Bongani. I want to know from you this morning if there's a particular public figure that you would pay big bucks to dine with, whether in South Africa or even internationally. So, Patrice Motsepe maybe, and I'm thinking of sports now. From this weekend, Patrice Motsepe, Irvin Khoza, Mr. Mutawong, is it any one of those? Oprah is usually a very big one that people
somebody
mention.
I would spend money to dine with.
Yeah.
Probably the author, Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah.
That's who I would spend a good amount of money to have dinner with.
Is there a figure that you wouldn't be willing to surpass?
The difficulty in the work that we do, we get access to a lot of these people anyway. And so the idea of even spending money to be around them, because normally we just
bizarre.
say, I'm from 702, and that's enough to get us in the room, right?
Yeah.
So not a lot.
Bongani was about to say they would spend big bucks on me.
Oh, wow. I'm not quite sure about
to
that.
dine with me. But I would certainly spend a lot of money to dine with Celeste Ndudi, the comedian.
Oh.
You know, apart from her making people laugh, making
Your best
jokes.
friend.
Oh, she's my best. In my head, we are best of best friends. She knows my kids. She knows my husband.
Does she really?
In my head,
in your
remember,
head.
in my head, yeah. And so I would spend money because I love her brain. I love how she thinks. I love how smart she is. Outside of making people laugh, of course. Like when you just listen to her talk about opinions on general issues, you would really be surprised.
And who would you spend money to spend time with, Nokanya?
Two people. Mary Vilagazi, who is the CEO of First Rand, is actually one of the people that I would love to sit down with. But I also think Patrice Motsepe, I'd pay big bucks.
Why? Ask him.
Plenty. Not even about sports, actually. It would be more about the business of mining. I have you guys know I absolutely love the mining industry for some odd reason. But it would really be about the business of business. Yes.
We are so different. It's 20 after 6.
702.
Weather.
What conditions can you expect at the start of this brand new week? A fine day in store for Gauteng today. Temperatures peaking at 28 degrees in both Pretoria and Vereeniging. Your high in Jozi is 30 degrees. Cape Town partly cloudy and windy, maxing at 24 degrees. Gqeberha peaks at 19. East London 20. Durban 24.
EWN Traffic.
All right, this Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo, give us that first report of the morning.
Well, let's start in the city of Tshwane, Bongani. We've got delays on the R80 East Mabopane Highway just as you approach Eskia exit. Delays coming out of the hairpin bend. And if you are traveling on the N3 North out of Alexandra, do expect delays between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks taking place along this route. There's also roadworks on the N17 West causing delays already between Carnival City and the R21. Otherwise, traveling in Mayoral, some delays on the R59 North between Swartkoppies Road and Nelson Mandela Avenue. I'll have more updates for you, but if you come across anything else on the roads, we are on X at EWN Traffic.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car on the way to the hospital carrying an elderly couple, playfully bantering about who their first grandchild will look like. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's bringing two generations together. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702. Serving the 702 family in 702 land, including those of you in Attridgeville. Attridgeville was established in 1939 and named after philanthropist Myrtle Attridge. The Mendy War Memorial in the township commemorates the over 600 black South African soldiers who drowned when the troop carrier SS Mandy sank in the English Channel during the First World War. Former Deputy Chief Justice Dikang Moseneke grew up in Attridgeville, as did middle distance runner Sydney Marie. 702. Let's walk the talk across 702 land, including Attridgeville.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for real estate agencies, law firms, computer services, and more. Yakolin?
We saved a lot of money when we switched over from another insurance company to Business Outsurance. We've had some claims and they were friendly and efficient and paid out when they promised.
Switch to Business Outsurance and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
A sinkhole on the R21 near Olifantsfontein is being repaired, but this isn't just about restoring the road. Sunral's 154 million rand project is opening the door to new opportunities for the local community, from training and mentorship for SMMEs to jobs for unskilled labor and real experience for young engineers. This project is repairing more than a road, it's building futures. Work starts mid-September 2025. Sunral, building South Africa through better roads.
In fitness, as in finance, endurance is key. If you're 55 and older, you can get an interest rate of up to 10.62% with a Nedbank Electronic Optimum Plus account. Now feel the earn. Invest in under 2 minutes on the Money app and get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply. For more info, visit nedbank.co.za.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Hey, Manubongs, happy Monday. Open for Slora Bongani. I think Helen will do a fantastic job. What are we looking for? Clean streets, lights that are working, robots that are working, painted pavements, painted lines on the streets, which I think she will do, and she will be best, Bongani. I mean, after the ANC has even managed to give us Ulo Ukabelo Kwamanda with a standard 2. I mean, really. I don't want to talk about this Dada Morero. But as I'm saying, she will never fail. Compared to these two, she will be 150% correct. Thank you very much.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
I think she'll be quite glad to hear that is your view. She's joining us in the next hour. What you need to know now at this hour, 25 after 6, the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry continues its hearings, and next in line is National Police Commissioner General Fani Masemola set to appear today before that investigation probing allegations of crime, political interference and corruption in the criminal justice system. You remember, of course, last week we heard from the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who described all sorts of shenanigans within our crime intelligence operations, and some of it really made for disturbing listening. And I'll play you one or two clips to bring you up to speed with what happened on Friday. Now listen to this. 5 Mexicans, of all people, were arrested during a 350 million rand drug bust in Mpumalanga, and it now turns out they were in the country illegally. Investigations show they came here in January and have stayed on even though their visas have since expired. So we'll keep an eye on that story. It was not just these 5 Mexican, I think there was a Malawian and a Nigerian national who were also arrested in connection with the same drugs bust. Johannesburg Mayor, the current one, Dada Morero, and Joburg Water have been given 14 days to present concrete solutions to the ongoing water supply disruptions that have left many communities across the metro without reliable access to water. You remember, of course, last week we spoke to Dr. Ferial Adam, and I asked her about the promises Dada Morero had made about the return of water in places like Coronationville. And the simple answer, I think if I remember correctly, was nonsense, because here we are. How many days later? Is there water in the taps in Coronationville? He's now come back, Dada Morero, to say, oh, maybe I was a little overly optimistic, right? And the truth of it is, with the infrastructure damaged as extensively as it has been, the silly business of blaming people who are connecting illegally or all of those sort of excuses, it's just not going to hold water. So here you go. What do you look for in a mayor? Andrea Bocelli, the world-renowned operatic tenor, turns 67 today. He was born on this day in 1958. Can you believe Andrea Bocelli, Michael Jackson, Anita Baker, Madonna, all born in 1958. You'll know him, of course, for classics like Time to Say Goodbye, Because We Believe, and The Prayer. Bocelli lost his sight completely after being diagnosed with a rare illness at a young age, but he still has his voice.
702.
The newspapers.
All right, I'll look at the newspapers. We've got Aurélie Kalinga reading with us this morning, but in our Cape Town studio. So for practicality's purpose, I'll do the papers on my own. Do you have a doppelganger? Do you have somebody that you are regularly mistaken for? And do you see it? Is the most crucial question, because sometimes I was told I look like Zolinze Mavavi. I was so hurt. So I've been told I look like Luther, which he agreed with, by the way. And I've shared that story before. But Uvavi, I thought maybe it's the glasses. I don't know.
And the height.
Maybe, you know. The front page of The Citizen has a Romanian tourist who spent nearly a month in prison after police mistook him for a wanted criminal on the first day of his holiday in Italy, his lawyer has said. Can you imagine? They were looking for some obviously notorious criminal, and this guy looked exactly like him. So they just picked him up and they threw him in jail for a month until he had to plead and prove that he wasn't who they thought he was. The front page of the Business Day, the Fab Four end medal drought for South Africa. These, of course, are the athletics teams in that 4x400 meter relay, and a picture of Helen Zille celebrating being declared the DA's mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. And the front page of the Sowetan has Miss Lauren Hill performing at the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival in Kailame in Midrand yesterday. Were you there? Were you happy? I think 50% of that show was Lauren Hill's sons, whom I certainly didn't know very much about, but here we go. She at least showed up, didn't she?
EWN Business.
Time for business news now. Nokanya Mdambo in for Muteo Kharipa. You've got a simple question. Who would we spend good money to dine with? A public figure. On your list are odd names like Patrice Motsepe. No, I'm joking. Mary Vilakazi is a good one. Yeah. Oprah, I think. Yeah. What prompts the question?
Adsim Shabalala as well, who's
yes,
the Group CEO of Standard Bank.
Yes.
Absolutely. So what prompts the question, Bongani, this morning is an evening with Tan Su Shan, who's the CEO of Banking and Financial Services Corporation, DBS Group, was auctioned off for 18,900 Singapore dollars to the winning bidder. That's the equivalent of 255,000 rands to dine with the executive. The evening included pre-dinner champagne, a 6-person private dinner hosted by the CEO, and a private tour at Singapore's National Gallery. With over 35 years of experience in banking and wealth management, Su Shan's company is highly sought after, especially by investors. She took over the helm of Southeast Asia's largest bank in March this year and has led a 10% gain in company shares since then.
Charity auctions that offer meals with celebrities or big company executives, that's quite a big thing, isn't it?
It certainly is, Bongani, especially when the world's top 1% is actually in the room. In fact, in 2022, a bidder paid over $19 million to dine with American investor Warren Buffett to benefit a San Francisco charity. A Singaporean man also paid almost $2 million to have lunch with Buffett as well in 2014.
If I have $19 million, I'm okay. I don't need
you
to
don't need to sit down with
I've
him.
already got the $19 million.
Fair enough.
Bongani, poor as I am, that's who pays
who
money.
you're dining
right?
with.
No. Saying poor as I am,
Yeah.
that's who pays money to spend time with Warren Buffett, because I want to know how to get the $19 million.
Fair.
If I have it, I'm not spending it on him. Where the markets?
The markets, Bongani, at 17.33 to the dollar this morning, 20.35 to the euro, 23.35 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,688 an ounce. Platinum coming in at $1,402. The price of Brent crude is at $67.05. More business coming up after 7.
Straight to the news desk we go, and a very welcome back to Aurélie Kalinga. Good morning.
Thanks so much, Bongani. Good morning. The ANC says it has no issues with parties in the GNU criticizing it as campaigning for the upcoming local government elections begin. This weekend saw a number of political activities around Johannesburg. The IFP held a welcoming ceremony for 300 people, it says, are former MK members, while the DA announced Helen Zille as its mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. Tabi Sogoba takes a look.
IFP national spokesperson Khuleko Hlengwa says the installation of the presidential task team in the Johannesburg municipality was a tacit admission by President Cyril Ramaphosa that the ANC-led coalition is failing. The DA's mayoral candidate for Johannesburg, Helen Zille, also took a few jabs at the ANC, saying it has failed the people of Johannesburg. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says the criticism from within GNU was always expected as parties still retain their independence.
We don't expect political parties who are our opponents to speak good about the ANC. Our story is a story of the people. How the people respond to the ANC and service delivery is what is important to us. We have said to the people, elect us and we'll serve you better.
Mbalula says the ANC will begin its campaign in earnest next year, as it's still focusing on strengthening its local branches. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
The South African National Defence Union is calling on the SANDF to pay outstanding deployment allowances to peacekeepers in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The union says soldiers who are part of the mission sanctioned by the United Nations are still waiting for their deployment allowances from the army. But the SANDF previously released a statement claiming all operational allowances owed to troops had been paid. Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
The union representing SANDF soldiers has again raised concern over deployment benefits which have not been received. SANDU accused the National Defence Force of allegedly not addressing all their concerns raised. In a recent media briefing, SANDU demanded that the SANDF pay off the soldiers' danger allowance, special danger allowance, deprivation allowance, among other outstanding benefits. Frustrated and at its wits' end, the union has threatened to resort to protest action if the SANDF remains silent. The soldiers deployed to the volatile eastern DRC returned to the country in June following a decision to withdraw all semi-DRC troops after a ceasefire was brokered between the Congolese government and the M23 rebels. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
Public Works Minister Dean McPherson says he'll ensure public money delivers quality infrastructure by stopping corrupt contractors from doing business with his department. This comes after the Construction Industry Development Board blacklisted 40 contractors. This is the largest group since 2002, when only one contractor was prohibited from providing its services to the department. McPherson says he plans to double down on the rot with the implementation of harsher regulations.
That those who underperform or engage in shoddy work will be held accountable and removed from our system. The CIDB's actions to blacklist these contractors means we have put our words into action. This stands in contrast to the single company that was blacklisted since 2002 to 2024. That situation was completely unacceptable to me.
Last week, Action SA announced it was preparing to lodge a formal complaint with the Public Protector against the National Treasury over a failure to blacklist compromised companies. And US President Donald Trump has called slain right-wing activist Charlie Kirk a giant of his generation at a memorial event. Trump says Kirk was violently killed because he spoke for freedom and justice, for God and country, for reason and for common sense. Yesterday's service drew attention and security, with the top brass of Trump's administration joining tens of thousands in mourning. Ahead of Trump's address, the crowd heard speeches from prominent cabinet members, including Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. A look at the weather: clear skies for Gauteng, temperatures between 27 and 30 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the N3 North between Marlborough Drive and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks taking place right near the Baklu turn off. There's also queuing traffic on the N17 West in the Boksburg area between Carnival City and the R21 due to roadworks.
The top story: the ANC says it has no issues with parties in the GNU criticizing it as campaigning for the upcoming local government elections begin.
Okay, truck 7, that has zero warning lights. Truck 8, it's just been serviced. I guess we're running like a well-oiled machine. Where would I be without My Way's comprehensive cover for my vans and trucks? Plus, cover for my customers' orders with goods and transit insurance. I guess we'll never know.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today.
My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
Welcome to the brand new days.
Sail the world with Norwegian Cruise Line. With more to see, more to do, and more to enjoy. Plus, upgrade your holiday with NCL's More at Sea for premium beverages, specialty dining, and much more. Think international cruising. Think NCL. For the best deals available, visit ncl.com or contact your travel agent. Restrictions apply.
Welcome to the brand new days.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dahlstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of ABSA. T's and C's apply.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Good morning, Bongani. Bongani, you would swear that Helen Zille is a mayor already. Everybody's throwing tantrums. She hasn't won the mayorship as yet. She's just a candidate, just like anybody else. All these political parties have candidates, but all the concentration is on Helen Zille. Yeah, it shows that she is a threat indeed. I would like her to be one. I believe she can do better, even though I'm not a member of the DA. But why throwing tantrums in somebody who hasn't been a mayor as yet? If you strongly believe in your candidates, you wouldn't worry about her, what she's doing. And also this thing of saying the DA is governing better in the municipalities as they govern. Why do we blame a DA for something that has been said by Ramaphosa? If they do govern better in their constituency, that's well and wonderful. If they don't govern better in Khayelitsha, blame the people of Khayelitsha instead of blaming DA. They are the ones who are voting for them. Sindile.
Happy Monday, happy Monday. Hello, ladies. Let's show them how it's done. I'm a resident of city of Johannesburg. I don't care about your political affiliation. I don't care about your views. I don't care about who you support or who you don't. We need water. We need proper roads. We need a safer community. We need working traffic lights. We don't need potholes. We need services to run. Basics. That's what we need. And if she's going to do that, then she is most welcome to come through. Thank you so much. Fezi Wayne Albert.
Good morning, Bongani and team. Fred here from Brand Park. In as much as the mayoral candidate is Helen Zille, you know, the downside of her being the mayoral candidate is that it just proves that we have no succession plan in South Africa as a country. There's no one relevant who can take over this position and deliver. Somebody younger, somebody who can really steer and champion this position. We're still going back to the archives. It's sad.
Have we run out of ideas? Has the DA or other parties run out of ideas? Because it looks now to obviously counter the selection of Zille as their candidate. Other parties are going to try and find their own anointed ones to try and, I don't know, challenge Zille. Do they have a right to be? At 74, does that matter for you in your thinking? Or do you think, yes, but precisely because she's 74, she's a safe pair of hands. She's done this kind of thing before. We'll speak to her coming up. We're asking you, what are you looking for in a mayor?
Bongani, I would have lunch with Rassi, and I'll take some soap with me because I want to wash out that dirty mouth of him. I want to ask him, why you curse so much? Anybody that is in chasing the sun or anything like that, it's just F this and F this and F this. I'll take some soap there and I'll ask him, you kiss your mother with that mouth, man. From Rustenburg.
EWN Sport.
Funny, as soon as Cindy walked in, I wondered if Rassi is the person she would spend good money to dine with.
Oh, am I spending my own money?
For charity, for a good cause. So it's going to go for a good cause.
Hypothetically, if I won the lotto and had to spend The lotto
For
money.
for a good cause.
For a good cause.
Yes.
So you say Rassi, but I would also want to choose somebody iconic, like a Ronaldo or a Messi or whatever, because to have to just know what they're like in person for an hour or two at a dinner would be amazing. But then you look at them and you think, how much fun would you have? Probably
and what
not.
would they say?
And probably not a lot.
Yeah.
So, I mean, after Ronaldo and I have connected over our shared heritage in Madeira,
That
which
could be
actually
an entry point.
His family house, not too far from ours.
Ah.
So, after we've shared that, then it would just be like,
what else do we talk about?
how are your 5 children?
Yeah. Because, oh, wow.
Do you know what I mean? But I think Rassi, you
Yeah.
would pay for an hour and you'd get a full night of a
Yeah.
jol. If you warmed up to him and he liked you, you'd have a good
He'd
party.
have something to say.
I mean, have you watched him on the Instagram? And he doesn't post it anymore, but he has a real jol.
Yeah.
That time that he was suspended for a year. He was having a vibe, eh?
Because also Ronaldo and Messi would like to tell you that their legs do all their talking, right? On the soccer pitch. But I can see Rassi being a really, really good time as a dinner guest. All right, let's talk sports.
Let's talk Liverpool. Topping the Premier League table.
With some space.
You could say some space, Bongani. Their fans will say a lot of space. It's 5 points. It's the biggest gap that we've seen in a Premier League after 5 games played in 6 years. In 6 years, this is the biggest gap we've seen. So, I mean, here we are again.
Yeah.
It's Liverpool's to lose. But Arsenal, they're 5 ahead of Arsenal, who came from a goal down to hold Manchester City 1-0. Martinelli scored in injury time to cancel out Haaland's opener. Captain Declan Rice on Martinelli's performance.
The amount of times he scores in big games for us. A lot of players can sulk if they get put on the bench, but every time he comes in, he shows his heart, desire, and the run and the finish is just unbelievable at that stage of the game. To have that composure, he fully deserves it. You wouldn't be a nicer guy. So even though we didn't win, I thought we thoroughly deserved. I thought we dominated today. We played really, really well. Just couldn't break him down. Fair play to them. But in fairness to him, he's come on and produced a moment of magic.
I love how the Business Day has written it. They're saying Martinelli's last gasp equaliser gave Arsenal that draw, cancelling out Haaland's early goal to give the Gunners a barely deserved point.
No,
Not fair?
not barely deserved. Absolutely not. I watched that second half and I actually tweeted, how have Arsenal not scored? So Pep just parked that bus and Arsenal had opportunity after opportunity. They had possession like I've never seen before. I watched Arsenal. I thought they were phenomenal. I missed the first half. Had to go to church. But the second half, I was there. And I was like, oh, come on, Arsenal. Honestly, thank goodness you're not my team, because I'd be so angry.
Because I'm still wearing my jersey today.
Also, Man United won. Can you handle? My daughter messaged me. She said, are you watching? I said, no. She said, they won. I said, what? You're lying. Fake news. Newcastle finished goals with Bournemouth. Aston Villa have yet to win this season. They were held 1-1 by a 10-man Sunderland. Back home, Polokwane scored late into extra time for a 2-1 win over Chipper. After the weekend, Sekhukhune still tops 1 ahead of Sundowns. Team South Africa returns home from the World Athletics Champs with only 1 medal. It's a bronze in the men's 4x400 meter relay. If you can, go watch the replay of that race. Phenomenal in the rain. Live Pele, Udeme, Ocon, Wade van Niekerk and Zakiti Nene missed out on silver to the USA by 0.002 seconds.
Like hair's breadth is
right.
Just, yeah.
Between the 1 and the 3, it was unbelievable. And it was Botswana who won gold. They're the first African country to ever win gold in that race. Springbok Apalele Fassi underwent ankle surgery. So as a result, Willie Leroux's being called up to the squad until Wednesday just to help the team prepare for Saturday's clash with Argentina. In cricket later today, the Proteas women going for a whitewash series win over Pakistan in the 3rd ODI. In netball, Spa Proteas lost to New Zealand 77-51 in their first test match in Auckland. And Max Verstappen won in Azerbaijan as the championship leader Piastri crashed out in the opening lap. Verstappen finished ahead of Russell and Sainz, who got his first podium for Williams. Antonelli came in 4th. Piastri still leads the driver standings 26 points ahead of Norris, who finished in 7th. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
The Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra presents its Symphonic Jazz Festival. Enjoy iconic South African jazz with full orchestra, big band and rhythm section led by Marcus Wyatt. Featuring a stellar lineup of artists. Linda Auditorium on 24 September, 7:30 p.m. Tickets at Quicket.
Corporates That Care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better country. Catch it this Wednesday, 10 to 9, featuring Hollywood Bets. Their brands and communications manager, Devin Heffer, will be in conversation with me. We do this on Wednesdays to highlight efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. Let's walk the talk and together make a difference.
Insurance pulls you in. Pineapple pulls you under. Insurance. Pineapple. Insurance. Pineapple.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Good morning. My name is Nobi Simelane. I am 10 years old. I go to Hanyang Primary School. I am currently in grade 4. I actually do not know what I would like to be when I grow up, but I am looking towards a career in space and science. I am so excited to play with Uncle Bongani today.
We're excited to play with you too. Can you walk away with the 10,000 Rand?
702.
Coming up at 7:15, the big interview.
EWN Traffic.
12 to 7, this EWN Traffic brought to you by Take a Lot. Happy delivered. On the N3 North, there are delays, Amo.
Yes, Bongani, this is as you come out of the Alexandra Township towards the Baklu interchange, and the reason for that backup is because of roadworks that are taking place along this route. So please be on the lookout there and drive with care. We've got delays also on the N17 West. This is between Carnival City and the R21 turn off due to roadworks taking place there. And then in South Crest, an accident reported on Fort Drecker Road. It's right at the N12 off ramp and it's causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Traffic is trafficking. The robots aren't AI, but more like an eye roll. And service delivery, well, it isn't delivering. But luckily, Take a Lot is. Shop anything from beauty and sport to tech and toys at everyday low prices and get it delivered to your door faster than you can get home, even when you take the back roads. A delivery so quick, the speed thrills. Halala with no limits. Just open the road of happiness before you. Take a Lot. Happy delivered.
Every day, South Africans are being squeezed to make ends meet. That's why they're Still Good, a new online platform where you can save up to 65% on groceries by buying Still Good value bags, packed with groceries by leading retailers that are still perfectly good, just close to their sell-by date. You win by saving, retailers win by cutting food waste, and communities win as Still Good donates 10% of their earnings to food charities. Visit stillgood.co.za. Start getting more bang for your buck with Still Good.
Sell your car now and get paid instantly. There's no waiting when it comes to We Buy Cars. Simply complete the online form on webuycars.co.za to get started. Looking for your next ride? Explore thousands of vehicles with finance and all the extras available online and in-store. Whether buying or selling, We Buy Cars has what you need.
Naked people are popular at Bry's because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums. They have more money for T-bone steaks. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and get naked. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Let's give away some cash today. We're playing with 10-year-old Ngobi, who wants to be a scientist later on in life. Ngobi, are you ready to play?
Yes, Uncle Bongani.
I love the confidence. KG, start the clock. Spell the word problem.
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 Correct. Which 5-letter word beginning with Q means silent or still?
Quiet.
Correct. How many hours are there in 2 days?
How many hours are in 2 days? 48 hours.
Correct. From which country is the weapon or instrument called a boomerang?
A boomerang.
A boomerang.
Pass.
Australia. True or false? Mickey Mouse has 3 fingers and a thumb on each hand.
True.
Correct. How many oceans are there in the world?
3.
5. Which word is a verb? Over or drive?
Over or what?
Or drive?
Drive.
Correct. In movies, I can't complete the question. You walk away with 5 correct answers. Remember, you must be aged 10 to 13 to play. And if you answer all my questions, all 10 of them in 60 seconds, you win 10,000 Rand. Otherwise, it's $100 for each correct answer.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Coming up next, what's the question? Brought to you by Outsurance. 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. So you send us an answer based on something you heard on the show that piqued your interest. For that, you win $1,000. Simply WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. Later, someone else will ask a question to get to your answer, you see, and for their troubles, we'll give them 2,000 Rand. Now, you always stand a better chance of being selected if you have SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance.
Current events, developing stories,
Tough questions.
your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Yes, indeed, 7 to 7. Big news over the weekend. Really, I suppose everybody expected this to go out exactly as it did. The Democratic Alliance announcing Helen Zille as their mayor, or at least as their candidate for mayor of Johannesburg. And she says, look at her track record. Look at what she did in Cape Town. She hopes to do the same in Johannesburg. She joins us now on the line. Always a pleasure to have you on the show, Helen Zille. No surprises, I suppose, to this election. And what difference do you hope to bring to Johannesburg, not having lived in the city for a very long time?
Good morning, Bongani. Well, it's wonderful to be back in the city, and I've been back to all my old haunts, from the place I was born to the place I grew up to the places that I worked. It's been wonderful, actually, to go on this trip down memory lane. A bit sad, a bit nostalgic to see what's happened to most of those suburbs, but nevertheless, fire in my belly to stop the rot and to work with a really great team to turn it around.
In South Africa, I made the point earlier, we're increasingly turning to personalities rather than perhaps policies and parties. And for all that you did achieve in Cape Town, one of the things you're going to face in Johannesburg certainly is this bloated administration. I think 40,000 strong, not everybody there, of course, deserving of their positions. How do you turn around a city that big with so many entrenched problems?
Yes, that is a very, very difficult challenge. The first one is going to be to really fine-tooth comb that budget with experts. I've obviously been through it myself. I know something about how to manage and how to analyze a budget. But for the budget, the extent and the size of Joburg's and the complexity of Joburg's, I'm going to bring in some real experts to help me analyze exactly where the problems are. But from my initial analysis of the budget, which I had to do for the preparation for my interview for this particular role, I can see that they're spending far too little on maintenance and far too much on operational expenditure. As you've just said, a massively bloated administration. I think over the past 30 years, it's become an employment bureau for every ANC cadre and their auntie and uncle and nephew and niece that you can imagine. And huge amounts going into all kinds of fluff rather than the place that it really should be, which is capital investment in infrastructure and most particularly maintenance of the infrastructure. Johannesburg has the smallest maintenance budget of any metro in South Africa. It should have the biggest, obviously. It has a much reduced capital budget, and the ratio of operational expenditure to capital expenditure is much too high. Those are the first and most obvious things. Then the duplication of functions is really worrying. I mean, they have a whole range of municipal entities, but then they have municipal departments that purportedly do exactly the same thing. And I don't understand why they have to duplicate all of these positions and all of these roles, because that costs literally hundreds and hundreds of millions. So it's that kind of analysis that you've got to do to get a good problem definition and then go in and solve it.
Helen, one of the things that always strikes me as sort of the thinking or the framing around the DA when it comes to local government. You, as a party, have argued that where you govern, you do it better. And I think that message has certainly taken enough hold for the president of the ANC to say much the same. On the other hand, the other popularly held view about the DA when it comes to local government is that you focus on the more affluent areas and you neglect the townships. That's what Gwede said over the weekend. And it is a view you're going to have to counter in Johannesburg. How do you plan to do that?
Well, of course, Gwede Mantashe would say that because he's got no other argument. But all the statistics prove him wrong. Take Cape Town's record infrastructure budget. The vast majority of that is going into providing really state-of-the-art infrastructure for the poorest areas in the city. The question you need to ask is, with local government, do people get clean running water? Do people get electricity reticulated to their homes? Do they have sewage systems? Do they have refuse removal? Are their complaints responded to when they lay them through the proper C3 system in the city of Cape Town? Is there a metro police force on the ground? All of those things, if the answer is yes to those things, and it is in almost every Cape Town township, we even electrified shack settlements. We were the first city to electrify shack settlements while I was the mayor of that city. If the answer is yes to all of those questions, local government is doing what local government must. We spend far more in Khayelitsha than we do in Camps Bay. In Camps Bay, people have built those houses because they have the very top jobs and they build themselves palaces. But they also pay us an absolute fortune to provide the best and most generous free basic service package to the poor in Khayelitsha. So there's massive cross-subsidization as well. It is insane to say that we deliver more in the leafy suburbs than the townships. It is exactly the opposite way around.
All right, Helen Zille, congratulations, the DA's mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. No doubt we'll speak to you a few times in the coming months. Are you convinced by the argument Helen Zille makes? Do you think that her perspectives on other issues around politics and international affairs will resonate with Johannesburg, or do people just want water in their taps, eh?
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic brought to you by Bridgestone Tires, prepared to perform wherever the terrain. That crash in Southcrest. Amo?
Bongani, it's causing heavy delays right at the Fort Drucker off-ramp near the N12. Please be on the lookout there and approach with care. There's also queuing traffic on the N17 West. In fact, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Carnival City and Rondebolt Road. More updates coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. Weekdays on the highway, weekends on the trail, in rain, on tar, or halfway up a gravel pass. With the new Bridgestone Jeweler All-Terrain AT002, you don't have to choose. Bridgestone, prepared to perform whatever the terrain.
702. Coming up, the big interview.
So we've heard from a mayoral candidate, but what role can business play in revitalizing our city? We'll tell you about ABSA's Run Your City Joburg. Tens of thousands of runners are going to hit the CBD. Up next, we've got the ABSA Group CEO, Kenny Fihla.
This is EWN.
The National Police Commissioner will explain what he knows about corruption in the service, and dry taps may end soon as Joburg Water lays a new pipeline. Good morning, I'm Aurélie Kalinga. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola will get his turn to answer questions about corruption and interference today. He's the second witness to appear before the Madlanga Commission after KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. The commission was established by President Cyril Ramaphosa to test allegations by Mkhwanazi that parts of the criminal justice system were captured by criminal syndicates working with politicians and senior cops. Oren Singh takes a look back at some highlights of Mkhwanazi's testimony last week.
Poised and confident, KZN's top cop Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi started off the public hearings by again arguing against the disbandment of the political killings task team, claiming Police Minister Senzo Mchunu was being advised and influenced by someone to disband the team. Mchunu issued a letter to National Police Commissioner Fanny Masemola on December 31st last year, calling for the disbandment of the task team, but also issuing an instruction to freeze the filling of crucial posts within crime intelligence, something Mkhwanazi says needed to be urgently addressed.
For us not to fill up vacancies that are critical within the space was going to have an impact in our efforts to fight crime.
Mkhwanazi says KZN has been without a provincial crime intelligence head for some time. Aryan Singh, Eyewitness News.
Now, for live updates on the Commission, you can visit ewn.co.za or watch live proceedings on our YouTube channel. The DA says it doesn't believe age will get in the way of Johannesburg's mayoral candidate Helen Zille. The party announced over the weekend that the 74-year-old would lead the race in the economic hub at the upcoming local government polls. If elected, Zille will become the oldest Joburg mayor in the country's democratic history. DA senior leader Solly Malatsi says her age and experience are an asset, not a liability.
She still has a lot of fire in her. And today, for me, as someone who has also previously worked closer with her and get to encounter her more frequently, I was also amazed at the fire that she still has. One thing that counts in her advantage is her experience. She's got an indefatigable spirit in her. And that's what you need, because whoever gets to be in Joburg, and for us, hopefully it is her, you're going to need political endurance to turn around that metro.
Joburg Water is expected to begin the construction of a new pipeline this morning meant to assist with supply to Westbury and surrounding areas. This follows tense community protests 2 weeks ago when residents clashed with police over calls for officials to account for their water woes. Frustrated residents have had to contend with dry taps and intermittent supply for months now. Jabuli Lembata has the latest.
When Joburg Water first responded to protesting residents, they promised to restore water in 7 days by reducing water supply in other areas to increase the water levels in the affected reservoirs. 21 tankers were also deployed to the areas to help alleviate the issue. However, on Thursday last week, on the deadline to restore the water to households, the water utility said it had proven harder than expected to bring back water because the areas in the west of Joburg are high-lying. As a new solution, a new pipeline will be built underneath Harmony Street, feeding from the Crosby Reservoir to supply water systems that feed water into the affected areas. The project is estimated to take 3 weeks. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
Gauteng Health MEC Nomantunkomo Ralehoko has made an emotional plea for an end to the blocking of foreign nationals from public healthcare facilities. This follows the recent death of a 1-year-old whose Malawian mother says she was prevented from accessing the Alexandra Clinic by Operation Dudula members. The group has denied this, saying it never instructed its members to block anyone from entering the clinic. Tabiso Goba has more.
Over the past weeks, members and leaders of Operation Dudula have been barricading entrances to public healthcare facilities and turning away people they say are undocumented foreign nationals. Gauteng Health MEC Nomantunkomo Ralehoko says this is unlawful
because health services are for everybody. It doesn't matter whether that mother is having a child who is a Malawian, but that child is a child that doesn't deserve to die.
Nkomo Ralehoko says the people blocking foreign nationals from accessing health care must put themselves in the shoes of others.
Before I become an MEC, I am a mother, I am a grandmother. How will I feel if my grandchild died and somebody blocked that access in that clinic?
The EFF has since laid criminal charges against Operation Dudula and its leader Zandile Dabula, accusing them of causing the death of the 1-year-old. Tabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And more than 10,000 people have been evacuated in the Philippines as heavy rains and gale force winds lash the country's far north. Typhoon Ragasa, which is gaining strength, is expected to make landfall this afternoon. President Ferdinand Marcos took to Facebook to say he's closely monitoring the situation and all government agencies are on alert. The threat of flooding from the typhoon comes just a day after thousands of Filipinos took to the streets to protest a growing corruption scandal involving flood control projects that were shabbily constructed or never completed. Gold is trading at $3,685.59 an ounce. The rand's at 17.34 to the dollar, 23.36 to the pound, 20.37 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.05 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got bumper-to-bumper delays on the N3 North between Linksfield Road and the Baklu interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the Mayoral North between Boysons Road and Empire Road.
In your sport, Martinelli equalises in the 93rd minute for Arsenal against City. Team South Africa returns home from the World Athletics Champs with 1 bronze medal in the men's 4x400 metres. And the Proteas women are going for a whitewash series win, taking on Pakistan in the 3rd ODI this afternoon.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 7 o'clock. What were your thoughts on what you heard Helen Zille say? She was announced, of course, by the Democratic Alliance as their mayoral candidate for Johannesburg, and she says she's back in the city. She's been doing the rounds, going to places, familiar places from her past, and she wants to tackle on the issues of budgeting, for example. How are there dual functions in the city where there are entities set up to deliver specific services, but still departments in the city doing exactly the same thing, supposedly? As I said, I watched a television interview of hers where she was pressed around the Palestinian question, and she just simply would not say that what is unfolding in Gaza is genocide. You care about that kind of thing more than somebody who says, look at what I've done in possibly the next big city, Cape Town, and I can do the same for Johannesburg? Or do you look at the city and think it's just too far gone? I mean, I want to remind you of what the mayor, the current mayor of Johannesburg, said just last week. Dada Morero said last week when he was trying to reassure the residents of Coronationville about delivering water to them. Have a listen.
That with all the interventions that we are going to be doing here, at least in the next 7 days, you'll have full supply of water on the 7th day. Now, I must explain it so that you don't get confused. To get the levels high, it means we need another 7 days. But we are saying to you, over and above, we are going to try in the next 2 days to switch off other areas at night to try and push the water to reduce that 7 days.
Beg your pardon, he said this on the 11th of September 2025, promising the residents of Coronationville that in 7 days you will have water. Has that water been delivered? We know, of course, that is not the case. Do you let him come back? Have a second try? Dada Morera, are you happy with him? What are your thoughts?
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
One of the big stories, of course, overnight was the recognition by yet another Western country of a Palestinian state. So the UK, now hot on the heels of Canada, Australia and Portugal, all saying they will give formal recognition to the idea of a Palestinian state. Have a listen to the UK Prime Minister, Keir Starmer.
Today, to revive the hope of peace and a two-state solution, I state clearly, as Prime Minister of this great country, that the United Kingdom formally recognizes the state of Palestine.
Does it make any difference that we've got all of this? I mean, Western countries are falling over each other, each one trying to be the next in recognizing the idea of Palestinian statehood. From what I can tell, you need three things to be a state. You need a territory, you need a geographical area, an actual country before you can call yourself one, right? You can't be a hypothetical country or a country in your mind. You need a physical territory. You certainly need a population. You need the people to make up that country in that territory. And lastly, you need a government that can actually run the country. And what have we seen in Gaza? How much is left in terms of the physical territory? Doesn't Donald Trump want to turn it into a luxury holiday resort? What has happened to the population, the people of Gaza? And can you tell me that there's any viable, functioning government? And aren't we seeing incursions into the West Bank to try and more or less do the same thing? So when these Western countries say they are recognizing Palestinian statehood, aren't they really just saying those things to make themselves feel better about themselves? The other story, of course, we're keeping an eye on is what unfolded in the United States just this weekend. There was that Charlie Kirk Memorial, and it was full of right-wing conservative MAGA supporters at that stadium. I want you to listen to the US President Donald Trump, who was speaking after Charlie Kirk's widow spoke at that very memorial, saying that to, keep the ideas of Charlie Kirk alive, one must forgive one's opponents. Donald Trump says he has nothing to do with that.
He did not hate his opponent. He did not hate his opponents. He wanted the best for them. That's where I disagreed with Charlie. I hate my opponent. And I don't want the best for them. I'm sorry. I am sorry, Erica. But now Erica can talk to me and the whole group, and maybe they can convince me that that's not right, but I can't stand my opponent. Charlie's angry. Looking down, he's angry at me now. He wasn't interested in demonizing anyone. He was interested in persuading everyone to the ideas and principles he believed were good, right, and true.
That is US President Donald Trump speaking at the memorial of Charlie Kirk. And perhaps as a counterpoint, US Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez voted against a resolution meant to honor Kirk and saying Congress should remember exactly who this man was. And she went on to remind members of Congress who exactly Charlie Kirk was and what he stood for.
We should be clear about who Charlie Kirk was. A man who believed that the Civil Rights Act that granted Black Americans the right to vote was a mistake. Who, after the violent attack on Paul Pelosi, claimed that, quote, some amazing patriot, unquote, should bail out his brutal assailant. And accused Jews of controlling, quote, not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it, unquote. His rhetoric and beliefs were ignorant, uneducated, and sought to disenfranchise millions of Americans, far from the working tirelessly to promote unity, unquote, asserted by the majority in this resolution.
Well, I mean, you can, of course, make up your own mind what your thoughts are going to be on that and his legacy. Up next in the Madlanga Commission, we're going to hear from the General Fanny Masemola, the National Police Commissioner, said to follow hot on the heels of the KZN Police Commissioner last week. And did you know Shaka Zulu was assassinated on this day in 1828 at Dukuza, present-day KwaDukuza, at the age of 41. And on this day, 1994, the American sitcom Friends premiered on NBC.
702. Up next.
The Big Interview.
EWN Traffic.
7:15 on the nose. This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Peak time delays everywhere, Amo.
That's correct, Bongani, especially on the N3 North between Linksfield Road and the Baku interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the November 1 North. This is between Beazodia Drive and Rivonia Road. I'll have more updates coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
20 years ago, you were still being driven to your matric dance, hey? 20 years ago, the Outsurance pointsmen were on the roads, easing traffic congestion. So whether you're an Outsurance client or not, we've all been getting something out. So show the pointsmen some love this month as we celebrate this 20th anniversary using the hashtag pointsmanlove. Johannesburg, Tshwane, Paarl, Stellenbosch, let's celebrate. Outsurance really means when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Sir, ma'am, may I take your order?
Yeah, let me get the New York cut, medium rare, truffle fries on the side, and the lady'll have the salmon. Grilled, not poached. 2 dirty martinis. Real dirty.
Leafy, what's with the voice?
Oh, I came over all Tony Soprano.
Get into character on a city break with Premier Hotels and Resorts. Stay Friday and Saturday and get Sunday night for free.
Book now at premierhotels.co.za.
So you thought you were building a business? In this economy? Good luck. But day by day, somehow it grew. You became payroll, procurement, PR, and pressure valve. You kept going when the freezer didn't freeze, the bucket didn't budge, and the bank balance barely blinked. What's that saying again? What doesn't kill your business makes it stronger? Or at least it should be that. So you thought you were building a business. You weren't. It was building you. Because this isn't just what you do anymore. It's who you are. And you don't trust just anybody to protect it. Chat to your broker about Old Mutual Insure Business Insurance. Protect what built you. Old Mutual Insure Limited is a licensed FSP and non-life insurer.
Traffic is trafficking. The robots aren't AI, but more like an eye roll, and service delivery isn't delivering. But luckily, Take-A-Lot is. Shop anything from beauty and sport to tech and toys at everyday low prices and get it delivered to your door faster than you can get home, even when you take the back roads. A delivery so quick, the speed thrills, halala, with no limits. Just open the road of happiness before you. Take-A-Lot. Happy delivered.
702.
The Big Interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
17 minutes after 7 o'clock. If you can have a theme for today's show, I suppose we can talk about how we are going to revitalize and rebuild the city of Johannesburg. And one way to do it is going to happen on Heritage Day. Thousands of runners are going to hit the streets in the ABSA Run Your City Joburg 10K. And it's meant to be more than just a race, but really a celebration of the city of gold. And it raises the question, what is the role of business in helping Johannesburg perhaps regain some of its shine? I'm really pleased to tell you that we are joined now in studio by the ABSA Group CEO, Kenny Fihla, to talk about why, when so many others have left the CBD in Johannesburg, ABSA has remained firmly committed to the inner city. So firstly, a warm welcome to you. Welcome to 702 Breakfast. I'm just going to ask you to come a little closer to your microphone. There we go. Welcome to 702 Breakfast in this new role of yours.
No, thank you very much, Bongani. I feel honored to have been invited this morning.
We talk a lot about active citizenship on this show and how citizens can do things for themselves. Certainly, as you might imagine, politicians come on the show and tell us what they can do for us. There's obviously also a role for business, particularly in a city like Johannesburg that faces so many challenges.
Absolutely, there's no doubt. I mean, Johannesburg is still home to about 5.5 million people. We've got a lot of buildings in the throughout Johannesburg as well as in the inner city. We employ thousands of people who have to travel to the inner city for work, and consequently we have a responsibility to ensure that the environment within which our people work is clean, is well managed, is safe, and is habitable. And we think we have a role to play in contributing towards the stabilization and the revitalization of Johannesburg.
Why have you stayed in the CBD when so many others have left?
We have invested hugely in building the ABSA precinct in town. It is one of the areas that are still centrally located, just from a logistics point of view. Think about people who have to travel from Soweto, from Orange Farm, from Lenasia, Roodepoort, or the East Rand. The Johannesburg CBD requires only one means of transport for people to access it. So it is well located and ideal, and it's just a pity that it is in a shabby state. And through initiatives such as these, we hope to play our small part in at least contributing and urging other role players to play their part in cleaning up Johannesburg, stabilizing it, and ultimately revitalizing the CBD.
And that's exactly what Josie My Josie has been doing, of course, and we've spoken to them about that campaign. And so uniting then with them, you've created the ABSA Run Your City Joburg. I said in my introduction, this is more than just a race, but perhaps a celebration of the city of gold. Tell me about the concept and what it seeks to achieve.
This is firstly about promoting the well-being of the people of Johannesburg, and our staff naturally are included in that category. Secondly is about developing a sense of community responsibility. We bring together our own employees, our clients, as well as the community. We partner a lot with Josie Majosi, And we've undertaken in the past a number of initiatives, including the cleaning up of the Mandela Bridge, the fixing and the repair of the street lights along the Mandela Bridge, and there's a whole range of other initiatives that together with Josie Majosi, ABSA has been involved with. The third objective of this race is also about a recognition that Johannesburg does not belong to politicians. It belongs to the residents of the city. And business is part of the community that must contribute towards the sort of protection of this city, ensuring that the city continues to thrive and grow. If Johannesburg goes down, it effectively means ordinary households would lose the investments that they've made in their homes. Businesses would be effectively losing a huge amount of property value that they would have built within this city. So we all have a collective responsibility to ensure that Johannesburg continues to thrive and that we play our part in effectively supporting initiatives that are meant to revitalize the city and give it its rightful place.
Why Heritage Day?
It's an ideal day. It is a day that recognizes the significance of the heritage that we have as South Africans, but there are also a whole range of iconic buildings and things to see in Johannesburg, and we found this day to be the most appropriate for us to have the race. The race would be starting at the Mary Fitzgerald Square and will go along all the iconic places around the Johannesburg CBD, just to showcase the significant and the rich history of the city of Johannesburg.
One of the things I understand is that along the race route, firstly, there's been a lot of cleaning up work that has been done, of course, ahead of the race, so people do feel safe and that it would be clean. But also you've got these iconic landmarks that are meant to be a part of the feature of the race. What will people see?
People will be seeing the rich history and the heritage of Johannesburg, some of the beautiful sites that are unfortunately not utilized fully because of people not visiting the CBD. We hope to highlight all of those and demonstrate what initiatives such as these can actually do to the city and help to highlight and expose the value that Johannesburg still has.
What long-term difference do you hope to make through the partnership and the involvement with Josie Majosi, for example, as an initiative? I mean, do you envisage a scenario in which big business could even return to the CBD?
The ultimate goal is for the Johannesburg CBD to be a vibrant economic hub, one of the economic hubs of the city of Johannesburg, because of the factors that I've spoken about, the locality as well as the centrality of the logistics system. But we have to take one step at a time, make our own contribution, partner with similarly minded organizations as well as community organizations, make sure that we're able to contribute through races such as these, as well as other initiatives of cleaning up the city, fixing the infrastructure, but more importantly, rebuilding that pride of being part of the Johannesburg community.
Without being too negative, at what point is a city simply too far gone? I mean, I know the ABSA precinct itself is everything that you described earlier, but in the shadow of that, not too far away, there are informal settlements and structures that have mushroomed up. Is it a losing battle? What do you say to people who don't quite buy into the vision of a revitalized Johannesburg?
I'll speak as a businessman. Business leaders are always able to identify opportunities for a turnaround, to look at the strength and some of the weaknesses of specific organizations and identify the intervention that ought to be made. We're never daunted by challenges or by sick or struggling organizations. And I think Johannesburg is no different. There's a lot that can be done in Johannesburg. It's not going to be easy, but we have to recognize that we are a business community. We have to position and play the role that speaks to our strength. It is precisely for that reason that we are part of Josie Majosi, because we think the collective might of business can contribute significantly towards the revitalization of the Johannesburg CBD. And at the end of the day, towards the protection of our own investments that we've made in that CBD.
Because if you don't believe in Johannesburg, you may as well close up shop, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this is still the economic heartland of South Africa. And as I said, 5.5 million people live in the city and they have nowhere to go. So we have to make it work.
Will you be running?
I'll be running the race on Wednesday. I ran the waterfall of marathon yesterday, and hopefully my legs will still be strong enough to carry me on Wednesday.
Listen, fantastic stuff. Appreciate you joining us and just really giving us that sense of hope that we all have a role, citizens, political leaders, but also business in reshaping Johannesburg. It's ours to lose.
Thank you very much.
EWN Traffic.
Right, this Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Bongani, at this particular moment, the N3 North is a parking lot delays between the Airlines interchange all the way towards the Baklu. This is due to multiple reasons, including roadworks and accident right near Linksfield Road, as well as peak time delays at this time of the morning. So please be on the lookout there and drive with care. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Some insurers promise savings. With Outsurance, you are guaranteed to get something out. Get a quote, and if Outsurance can't beat your car insurance premium, ask them for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you always get something out. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
EWN Business.
All right, 28 minutes after 7 o'clock. Let's catch up now with business news. Nokanya Mtambo in the hot seat all week. Nokanya, very good morning to you once again. SPAR joining the R1 billion pet market race.
They certainly are. Good morning again, Bongani. So JSE-listed retail group SPAR has entered the pet segment with the launch of its pet story shop in Boksburg. The launch was celebrated on Friday with the conversion and opening of the largest pet store in Africa in Boksburg. But the retailer has already walked back on its controversial decision to sell live animals at the outlet in Boksburg following backlash from animal rescue organizations. The puppies that were on the shelves will now be rehoused. SPAR says the target is to roll out 25 to 30 stores nationwide by the end of the year, and to have a minimum of 100 stores by the end of 2026. Overall, the retailer hopes that the move will create a retail growth, a supplier opportunity and community benefit through job creation, skills development and reinvestment into local economies.
They were going to sell puppies. Goodness me. All right, I heard you mention this a little earlier on. I'm a little unclear. So what does Trump's new visa fee mean? Because I'm seeing there's a bit of panic and confusion around that.
Yeah, it created exactly that. Trump and chaos synonyms. The surprise order from the Trump administration imposing a new $100,000 fee on some visas set off a day of frantic travel as workers, companies and foreign governments scrambled to respond to Washington's latest immigration crackdown. By the time the White House clarified that existing holders of the H-1B visas for skilled workers were not affected, it was already too late. U.S. allies raised concerns, and their nationals abandoned holidays, business trips, and plans to see their families as they raced back to America before the new rules took effect yesterday. Bongani, President Donald Trump signed the proclamation on Friday requiring companies to pay a once-off fee of $100,000 to obtain the visas which major tech companies rely on to fill high-skilled jobs.
Yeah, so they were already paying a fee. It was $1,000.
Correct.
With the stroke of a pen, he's turned it into $100,000.
Yeah, but it's a once-off.
What are your indicators telling you?
The indicators, Bongani, this morning: 17.33 to the dollar, 20.35 to the euro, 23.35 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,688 an ounce. Platinum coming in at $1,402. The price of Brent crude is at $67.05. More business coming up after 8.
7:30 your time check. Let's go straight to the news desk with Aurelie Kalinga. Aurelie, fire in her belly, she says.
That's right, Bongani. That's what Johannesburg's mayoral candidate for the DA, Helen Zille, says. She says she has fire in her belly to stop the rot. The party announced Zille as its preferred candidate over the weekend. The DA says Zille's bid for the job is bolstered by years of experience, having been Cape Town mayor for 3 years and premier of the Western Cape for a decade. Zille says it's good to be back.
I've been back to all my old haunts, from the place I was born to the place I grew up to the places that I worked. It's been wonderful, actually, to go on this trip down memory lane. A bit sad, a bit nostalgic to see what's happened to most of those suburbs, but nevertheless, fire in my belly to stop the rot and to work with a really great team to turn it around.
The South African National Defence Union is calling on the SANDF to pay outstanding deployment allowances to peacekeepers in the Democratic Republic of Congo. The union says soldiers who are part of the mission sanctioned by the United Nations are still waiting for their deployment allowances from the army, but the SANDF previously released a statement claiming all operational allowances owed to troops had been paid. Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
The union representing SANDF soldiers has again raised concern over deployment benefits which have not been received. SANDU accused the National Defence Force of allegedly not addressing all their concerns raised. In a recent media briefing, SANDU demanded that the SANDF pay off the soldiers' danger allowance, special danger allowance, deprivation allowance, among other outstanding benefits. Frustrated and at its wit's end, the union has threatened to resort to protest action if the SANDF remains silent. The soldiers deployed to the volatile eastern DRC returned to the country in June following a decision to withdraw all semi-DRC troops after a ceasefire was brokered between the Congolese government and the M23 rebels. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News.
A shutdown of taxi routes and specified lanes at ranks in Cape Town has entered its second week. The route closures are in place for 30 days to curb recent taxi-related violence. At least 10 operators and commuters were shot dead or wounded in attacks linked to a dispute over routes between taxi associations Kata and Kodeta. Last week, at least 6 minibus taxis were impounded for illegally operating on the closed routes. Western Cape Mobility MEC Isaac Sileku.
It is day 6 of a 30 days route and lane closure and a start to a working new week. Our monitoring teams have had no issues and incidents reported this morning at any of the monitoring points. The situation on the affected routes and lanes remained calm.
And Britain, Australia, Canada and Portugal have recognized the state of Palestine, marking an historic shift in decades of Western foreign policy. Palestinians in the besieged Gaza Strip welcomed the recognition as a victory, but Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vowed in response that a Palestinian state would never exist. The US also criticized the moves as performative. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer says Britain is formally recognizing the state of Palestine to revive the hope of peace for Palestinians and Israelis and a two-state solution.
The Israeli government's relentless and increasing bombardment of Gaza, the offensive of recent weeks, the starvation and devastation are utterly intolerable. Tens of thousands have been killed, including thousands as they tried to collect food and water.
A look at the weather. Clear skies for Gauteng, temperatures peaking between 27 and 30 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the N3 North between the Elands Interchange and the Baklu Interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South between the Brakfontein Interchange and Olifantsfontein Road.
The top story, Johannesburg's mayoral candidate for the DA, Helen Zille, says she has fire in her belly to stop the rot.
Smart Steve from Momentum, hello.
Smart Steve, my daughter just turned 18, right? And now she's got a license and a boyfriend.
You're worried about her safety. With Momentum Safety Alert, she can access help 24/7.
Is that the emergency response version of Curry in a Hurry?
For sure. She can get help at the touch of a button for free.
Free? For all that and all?
Visit momentum.co.za or call 0860 006 784. Momentum Insure, keeping you safe on your journey to success. Momentum Insure is an authorized non-life insurer. T's and C's apply.
Looking for your next car? We Buy Cars makes it easy with over 10,000 vehicles available for sale. Whether it's your season to upgrade or downgrade your vehicle, We Buy Cars has what you need. Over 10,000 vehicles for sale. You'll find a variety of cars, bakkies, bikes, boats, trucks, and more, sold at incredible prices. We Buy Cars also offers convenient finance solutions through South Africa's most trusted banks, which you can easily apply for online or in-store. Plus, they have insurance solutions, warranties, service plans, and more, providing everything you need under one roof. So whether you're trading in or simply selling a vehicle, get an estimated offer within minutes online or or at any We Buy Cars location nationwide. The entire process is quick and seamless. You can even sell within a day and get paid on the spot. So when you're buying or selling, We Buy Cars offers a fast, simple, and reliable process. So visit webuycars.co.za today.
Whereby Cars is a licensed financial institution. FSP number 24337. T's and C's apply.
Babe,
Yeah?
the fridge light finally stopped flickering.
Yeah. I replaced it.
You replaced it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, on your own?
Yep.
You know what that means.
Party! Every excuse is a great one when you've got balloons, bubbles, gift wrap, cards, candles, and dress up.
I'm calling it the Fridge Light Festival!
The Crazy Store. Hey, you never know what you might find to have a good party.
702
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hi. Hey, good morning, Bongani. You made my day today for bringing that guy, Uvuyo Fihla, Ndoaguti. What I can say is that I shared that desk with that guy from Emadlelweni in 1978 to 1982 at Ipongo. Thanks. This is Patrick Imperi. Thanks for bringing that guy. Long time I've heard his voice. So long time. Thanks. I'm happy. Made my day, Bongani.
Metal Monday greetings, Mr. Bingwa and 702 lenders. Big shout out to Mr. Kenny Fisher. He's very passionate about the sport of running and ran past him or alongside him yesterday at the waterfall. Wish our competition everything of the best on Wednesday for a successful race. Thanks for a great show, Tepo in Boksburg.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. We just spoke to the ABSA group, the group CEO of ABSA, Kenny Fihla, who was in studio talking to us about the role of business in helping revitalize Joburg, but also this fantastic race on Wednesday. So he ran yesterday. Tsepo ran alongside him, and I really love Patrick from Piri's voice note. They went to school together. He says they shared a desk from 1978 to 1982. Kenny Fihla, of course, has already left the building because no doubt, as the group CEO of one of the largest banks in South Africa, he's got quite a few things to do on a Monday morning. But no doubt if he's listening in the car, I'm sure he will be elated to hear some of those voice notes.
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. So first 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then a little later 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question. SMS out to 45142, and you could save on your car insurance. Today's answer comes from Junior. Junior, very good morning to you. Do you have today's answer?
Good morning, Bongani. Yes, I do.
Hit me, Junior. What's today's answer?
The answer is friends.
Friends, indeed, friends to the end, hey? Friends will be friends right till the end. No, we're not asking you about the Queen song. Junior, congratulations. 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance and 702. There you have it. Junior says the answer is friends. What is the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
20 minutes to 8 o'clock. This Eyewitness News Sport is brought to you by RMB Corporate Banking. Ready, set, cash flow. Cindy Paluta, you know, of course, I'm an Arsenal fan. And how do you know somebody's an Arsenal fan?
They'll tell you.
And
no,
they'll be wearing.
Yes. Actually,
they'll be
originally
wearing the Arsenal jersey.
when I came in this morning, I actually, for some reason, just thought that was a Pirates jersey.
Because it's black, you see.
Yeah.
Mostly black. So a lot of people think it's, you know, but
So at
it's
least
one
it's
of those.
both.
It's one of those combos.
Yeah.
If you're an Arsenal supporter, you'll be a Pirate supporter. If you're a Man United supporter, you'll be a Kaizer Chiefs supporter.
I don't know about that.
No? That
No.
combo?
I also don't know.
I've often heard that combo.
Yeah, it's a popular, but like let's hear from the people in the city because I don't think there's
Chiefs
that.
and Man United. Pirates and Arsenal. Pirates, Arsenal, Barcelona.
Pirates, Arsenal, Mercedes, Chiefs, United, Ferrari.
And Madrid.
I don't know about the Spanish sides.
Chiefs, United, Ferrari, and Madrid.
Okay. It's a great one. Let's
Am I
ask
wrong?
the listeners what their combo is. If you have to walk into a store and order your combo, which ones are you putting together?
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
Talking of Arsenal.
They came from a goal down to hold Manchester City 1-0. Martinelli got past City's parked bus in the 93rd minute for the equaliser. City boss Pep Guardiola said given the team's midweek schedule, they knew a game against Arsenal would be tough.
So sometimes the people don't realize. So the game against Napoli Champions League was so emotional. And after that recovery day, and they asked you had to wait 4 or 5 hours because maybe you don't know, you live in London, you have that privilege, but the people who live in the north have 4 or 5 hours to arrive into London, and it's more fatigue and everything. So I could not expect differently, but we were there. We talk about you have to be so strong in terms of mentality. We have done it.
Unbeaten, Liverpool tops the table, 5 ahead of Arsenal, Spurs and Bournemouth, all on 10 points. Bournemouth still fourth after a goalless game with Newcastle. Aston Villa have yet to win this season. They were held 1-1 by a 10-man Sunderland. Back home, Polokwane scored late into extra time for a 2-1 win over Chippa. Springboks called up Willie Leroux to help the team prep for Saturday's game with Argentina. This after Apalele Fassi underwent ankle surgery. Team South Africa returns from the World Athletics Champs with 1 bronze medal from the men's 4x400 meter relay. Pele, Ocon, Van Niekerk and Nene missed out on silver to the USA by 0.002 seconds. In cricket later today, the Proteas women going for a whitewash series win over Pakistan, the third ODI. That's at 12:30. While in netball, Spar Proteas lost to New Zealand 77-51 in their first test match in Auckland. Decent fight back by the Proteas who trailed by 12 after the first quarter. Coach Jenny van Dijk.
Definitely very disappointed with our performance. The damage was done after that first quarter. The speed and the precision and the momentum, I think, is something that you don't know how it's going to feel on that court. You can watch as many videos as possible, but once you play against it, then you understand the magnitude.
And in Formula One, Max Verstappen won in Azerbaijan ahead of Russell, Sainz and Antonelli. Championship leader Piastri crashed out in the opening lap but still leads the driver standings, 26 points ahead of Norris. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Feeling some lag in Sector 3?
Copy. Optimizing working capital. Ready. You're approaching a tight corner. Cash flow pressure ahead.
Low on liquidity. Supply pressure is building. Set.
Deploying cash injection in 3, 2, 1. Flow.
Nice move. Better supply chain control.
Lab time advantage. Faster cash cycles, leaner inventory, and optimized working capital.
Ready, set, cash flow. Corporate banking from RMB. RMB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Life has its own rhythm, but muscle and joint pain may upset the beat.
Noflex Gel.
Trust Noflex Gel's triple action formula to target muscle pain, reduce inflammation, and help numb the affected area.
Noflex Gel.
So, get your beat back and reclaim the rhythm of life.
Noflex Gel.
Beat the pain with Noflex Gel and higher strength Noflex Gel Fort. For more information, speak to your healthcare professional.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 In Brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
This master doesn't just start. It wakes up. Anticipation. The wheel settles into your hands. Seat and mirrors adjust. You didn't ask. It just knew. Then the 3.3-liter turbo diesel clears its throat. And suddenly, you're flying, weaving through sunlight. Goosebumps on your commute. The feeling will find you in the Mazda CX-60. Wonder awaits.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
EWN Traffic.
Exactly 7:45. This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. There are delays in Katlehong. Amo, what's going on?
Bongani, there's been an accident on the N3 North. It happened right near Heidelberg Road, causing delays. Please be on the lookout there. About a 30-minute hold-up reported along this route. And then the N3 North remains with big delays this morning. This is between the Geldenes interchange all the way towards the Baklu interchange. Roadworks and accident as well as peak time delays are the reasons for these long queues this morning. So please, if you find yourself along this mess, please be patient and drive with care. If you're traveling on the N1 South, bumper to bumper traffic between the Baklu interchange and Olifantsfontein Road, peak time delays there. There's also queuing traffic along the N1 North between Beazodia Drive and Rivonia Road. I'll have more traffic updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Don't ever settle for great. You know that great feeling after nailing a big presentation? Imagine upgrading that. I'm talking driving home with your car's massage seats, practically high-fiving your bum. Headlights so bright, you feel like the star your boss said you were. Arriving home, making an entrance, grander than your slide transitions. Go grand in the new Opel Grandland, designed and made in Germany. Visit opel.co.za for more.
Opel Grandland.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, please tell me what's the question if the answer is friends. Let's go to Tami in Soweto. Tami, what's the question?
The question is, which American sitcom premiered on NBC on this day in 1994?
Were you a fan of the show?
Not really. I was a fan of Living Single. Yeah.
Oh, I see what you did. The politics of all of that, right?
Yeah.
Because there is a view that Friends was loosely based on Living Single.
Living Single.
Tami, do you have a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I do have a quote, Bongani.
Your biscuit, 2,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to Outsurance.
Thank you, thank you.
Tato in Soweto getting the answer right there. Of course, it was on this day that you heard that song for the first time in the context of Friends.
Wayne, for you, what is the real deal?
For me, it's really customer service. It's getting my money's worth. So if I phone Outsurance and I've got a problem, they're always there.
So it's not just we got your money, now off you go.
No, money is not the biggest deal for me. It's service. Just phone Outsurance, get a quote and see what they can offer you. If you don't save that 321 like I did, you might get a 500 or $1,000 back. Service and savings, you'll always get something out.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands.
What does you always get something out mean to you, Lorette?
Outsurance made it possible for us to live our dream to travel more with the money in our pocket that we save.
Let me know, what is it?
725. It was unbelievable. My husband, he sits there on the chair and he's just nodding his head and say, yes, yes, yes. This is really not just an advertisement. This is really real.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's and information online.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly, fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of ABSA. T's and C's apply.
Outsurance made it possible for us to travel more with the money that we save. 725. This is really real.
You are the biggest saver we've ever had.
2,794 Rand a month. It was the easiest switch ever. Get real.
How is it that Outsurance provided the solution for you?
918 Rand is what I'm saving.
Incredible.
Go to outsurance.co.za now for a 10-minute quote that could save you thousands. Licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's and information online.
702.
702. What's gone viral?
With Kabazela.
Catch up now with the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
And am I correct in saying, for anybody who's never seen Kabazela and you're dying to know what he looks like, you can watch his blushing cheeks on our YouTube channel. It's just gone red now.
Yeah, face for radio. So this now YouTube stuff is tough to watch.
It's a whole lot for you. You can catch us, of course, live on our YouTube page. You are streaming there now. Kabazela, let's talk about what was left on top. I mean, I shared a similar story just a couple of weeks ago, right, about leaving something from Ocean Basket at the top of that parking ticket machine. But my goodness, a cake on top of the car?
Yes, I remember. Yeah, so, I mean, if you've ever left something on top of the car whilst you're packing the kids in the back or whatever you're doing, it could be quite a hectic thing. So this guy was on a bus, a double-decker bus, and he was riding along and he looked behind him and he saw that there was this car driving on the roads with cake that was balancing on the roof, and he's videoing it and commenting. And obviously he can't say anything because he's at the top of this double decker. But anyway, the car keeps driving, and luckily the cake doesn't fall off, but then the video ends. So who knows if they got to eat their cake or not. So I wanted to ask our 702 family this morning with regards to leaving things on the top of your car. What happened? Did it stay there perhaps? Or, did you realize before you drove off? Or did it end in disaster?
Yeah, I mean,
I remember once.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, you can see this cake is not going to last very long on top of that roof because it's just about to slide off. You remember?
Yeah. I had a couple of brandies, maybe one or two, and I was putting my cousins into the back of the vehicle, into the car seat, and I had my Ray-Bans on top of my head, and I didn't want them to fall off. Put them on top of the roof, put the kids in, and disappeared into the passenger seat to drive away. And I was like, my Ray-Bans. Got out to look, cracked, squashed, nothing left. It was quite heartbreaking, especially when I took them off my head, not wanting to drop them, right, and put them on the top of the car. Blame it on the brandy.
The clue, I was
so
clue
what
was
is
in the
your
brandy.
story?
So the clue was in the brandy.
Exactly.
All right, talk to me about health gadgets.
Oh, yes. I mean, I think you either that person or you live with that person. And this is health gadgets that they buy from, Take a Lot, or even back in the day, remember the Verimark ones? You could get the Ab Cruncher. There were so many gadgets that you could get. So this woman, Abflex, this woman posted a video. She's got a red light mask on her face. She's standing on a vibrating plate. She's got something on her chest that is also some health gadget. And she says her husband's not worried about her cheating. He's worried about what she's going to spend next on her health journey. So funnily enough, I came home on Friday and there was a Take a Lot package, and my missus has bought one of these ab pulses. So you put it on your abs and then it sends magnetic pulses to your abs, and it works your abs
feedback?
while you just lie on the couch.
I've seen them on Instagram. Please will you give us feedback as to whether they work or not?
I will. So I lay there yesterday for about 5 minutes. I lay there for 5 minutes yesterday with this thing on. And it felt like I was having simulated period pains. I've done it once before with a device that simulates period pains. And I said, no, take it off. And I said, how long do you use this thing for? She's like, no, 15 minutes or so. So let's give you feedback in maybe a month or two to see if she's got a six-pack.
Oh, well, you clearly won't.
What's your health?
You clearly won't.
No.
What, that health gadget that you've bought to lose weight, to improve your skin, age, or are you a gadgets person, period? I mean, forget health. Are you one of those people who's a sucker for every new gadget that comes onto the market? You're excited about it, you unbox it, you look at it, and you play with it for a day or two, and then you buy the next one next week. What gadget have you bought? And is your partner one of those gadget people? How do you deal with it?
EWN Traffic.
5 to 8, this EWN Traffic brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Amo?
Bongani, on the N1 North in the city of Tshwane, we're seeing some delays. This is between the Flying Saucer Interchange and Rigel Avenue. While traveling on the R80 East, we still have got delays coming out of Bremer Road towards the Eskom Pahlele exit, while on the N14 North, delays just as you approach Euphis Road heading towards Fountains Valley. So please be on the lookout there and continue driving with K. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. Get your adrenaline rush with the endless adventure activities. Explore breathtaking 4x4 routes like the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. Mpumalanga, embrace the unknown. Live the adventure. This message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more.
702.
702. Feedback
With Siamtanda Matiso.
Siamtanda Matiso, are you a gadgets person? Do you get easily fooled by what they promise they will deliver?
Bongs, I used to be, but I realized I'm wasting money. I bought resistant bands. I only used it like twice. Those are the ones that you put in your legs.
Yeah, those strength. Yeah, I know those.
Didn't use that. I bought a skipping rope. It's still there. I'm not using it.
Listen, in fairness to you, I remember a day where it was you, myself, and Clive.
Yeah.
And we were at Benmore Shopping Center, and they were selling these things that were going to. One was, so you stand on it and you twist your body and it twists you into shape, right? Because it moves left, right, and then that movement. And then the other one was, what was the other one?
I forgot. But what I do remember is that I looked at them in the eye and I said, Bongani and Clive, knowing them quite well, you guys are not going to use this. They were like, no, Sia, we are. I even bought gym clothes. They told me this. Bongs?
Never used them. Never used them.
Well, that's the feedback. No, Bongs, lots of reactions this morning. Mixed and divided reactions, more especially when it comes to Helen Zille's candidacy. Some are saying, listen, she has experience. She could bring it over here in Joburg. They believe in it. They want change because, I mean, the ANC, in their opinion, is not doing that well.
I was curious about people's responses to that question of the DA does better for affluent, leafy suburbia. And her response to that was, hang on a minute, we are able to get some of the most affluent residents in a place like the city of Cape Town, in fact, to cross-subsidize people in places like Khayelitsha.
Well, some argued and they said they ran Tshwane and they didn't do a great job, Bong. So some of them really just don't, some of the listeners are like, nah, we don't believe this at all. Not convinced at all. And some are saying, listen, let's give her a chance. Like, we've been giving ANC a chance and they haven't been doing much for us, and we just want service delivery. We don't want beautiful speeches. We don't want anything but that. And Nokukanya posed that question, which public figure are you willing to pay big bucks to dine with? General Ntlanhla Mkhwanazi came about. Rasi Erasmus, Siamtanda Golisi, Julius Malema, Viola Davis. For me, it's Michaela Cole. I would love, and Issa Rae. I love their writing in terms of sitcom and serious stuff. Love to dine with them and just to hear what they have to say and their creativity when it comes to that. And also, Lebohile Mufokeng, Pirates player.
Yes.
Many would love to spend the time with him. They find him very cool.
I'll tell you who we are going to spend time with coming up in this next hour. next hour, we're going to speak to the founder and principal of Stageworks School of the Performing Arts. And one of her star performers is going to be in the studio to tell us about that kind of music, a beneficiary of their bursaries and their fantastic new show on at the Monte Teatro. More reactions? What do you want in a mayor? Is Helen Zille the one to do it? Can she pull it off? I think that's the question the citizen asks this morning. And what role does the rest of us, does the rest of society have in revitalizing Josie?
This is EWN.
Will Fani Masemola corroborate or contradict Mkwanazi's evidence at the Madlanga Commission? And a non-profit hospital brings light back to the blind. Good morning, I'm Aurélie Kalinga. National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola is expected to give his version of what happened with plans to disband the KZN Political Killings Task Team and why more than 120 dockets were taken from the province. Those are just two of the issues that KZN Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi spoke about in his evidence at the Madlanga Commission last week. He also reaffirmed his allegiance to crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo, who's accused of fraud. Oren Singh takes a look back at some of the crucial moments from Mkhwanazi's testimony last week.
KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi alleged two members of Parliament, Fadiel Adams and Diane Collar-Barnard, were instrumental in the arrest of crime intelligence head Dumisani Khumalo. The arrest of Khumalo and 6 other crime intelligence officials was linked to the employment of Dineo Mokwele into a senior position within the unit, despite her allegedly not having any prior policing experience. Mkhwanazi claims Khumalo's arrest was a result of confidential information that Collar-Barnard and Adams made public, whereas they should have presented it to the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence.
Maybe you might excuse to some degree Mr. Adams of being new in that parliament, but Ms. Collar-Barnard is a veteran in parliament as a lawmaker who ought to understand what belongs where.
Mkhwanazi wrapped up his testimony on Friday, with National Police Commissioner Fani Masemola expected to testify today. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
For live updates on the Commission, visit ewn.co.za. You can also watch live proceedings on our YouTube channel. Joburg Water is expected to begin the construction of a new pipeline this morning meant to assist with supply to Westbury and surrounding areas. This follows tense community protests 2 weeks ago when residents clashed with police over calls for officials to account for their water woes. Frustrated residents have had to contend with dry taps and intermittent supply for months. Jabuli Lembata has the latest.
When Joburg Water first responded to protesting residents, they promised to restore water in 7 days by reducing water supply in other areas to increase the water levels in the affected reservoirs. 21 tankers were also deployed to the areas to help alleviate the issue. However, on Thursday last week, on the deadline to restore the water to households, the water utility said it had proven harder than expected to bring back water because the areas in the west of Joburg are high-lying. As a new solution, a new pipeline will be built underneath Harmony Street, feeding from the Crosby Reservoir to supply water systems that feed water into the affected areas. The project is estimated to take 3 weeks. Jabuli Lembata, Eyewitness News.
Gauteng Health MEC Nomantu Nkomo Ralehuku has made an emotional plea for an end to the blocking of foreign nationals from public healthcare facilities. This follows the recent death of a 1-year-old whose Malawian mother says she was prevented from accessing the Alexandra Clinic by Operation Dudula members. The group has denied this, saying it never instructed its members to block anyone from entering the clinic. Tabiso Goba has more.
Over the past weeks, members and leaders of Operation Dudula have been barricading entrances to public healthcare facilities and turning away people they say are undocumented foreign nationals. Gauteng Health MEC Nomantu Nkomo Ralehuku says this is unlawful
because health services are for everybody. It doesn't matter whether that mother is having a child who is a Malawian, but that child is a child that doesn't deserve to die.
Nkomo Ralehuku says the people blocking foreign nationals from accessing health care must put themselves in the shoes of others.
Before I become an MEC, I am a mother, I am a grandmother. How will I feel if my grandchild died and somebody blocked that access in that clinic?
The EFF has since laid criminal charges against Operation Tutula and its leader Zandile Dabula, accusing them of causing the death of the 1-year-old. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
And 3 patients from rural Limpopo who recently received cataract removal surgery say the procedure has given them a new lease on life after years of living in darkness. They were selected for the surgery at Hope for the Blind Hospital, a non-profit organization just outside Modimole in Limpopo. A subsidized program at the facility makes the life-changing procedure completely free or charges a fraction of the cost for patients who'd otherwise never afford it. Tando Ngcobo reports.
Inside the hospital, the hallways are filled with sunshine that beams through glass walls. In the waiting area, some patients sit holding hands, others smile to themselves, ready for what's to come. Our 3 patients were excited and said they couldn't wait to see their grandchildren's faces, to cook again, and to walk freely without help. This is what one of the patients, Mapiti Mahlati, had to say ahead of the surgery.
I'm so excited. I even feel healed before going into the theater. I can't wait for tomorrow.
One by one, they are called into pre-op, where nurses gently guide them through the process, weighing them, checking their vitals, and helping them into hospital gowns. Then, they are wheeled into the surgical suite. Within minutes, the cataract that clouded their world are removed, and new, clearer lenses are placed.
She's happy, She's really happy that this operation.
The patients then go into the recovery process, with the bandages removed a day later. Tando Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
Gold is trading at $3,685.59 an ounce. The rand's at 17.34 to the dollar, 23.36 to the pound, 20.37 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.05 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N3 North in the Katlehong area. This is due to an accident right near Heidelberg Road. Delays coming out of Leondale Road while traveling on the N3 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Van Buren Road and the Baklu interchange.
In your sport, the Proteas women going for a whitewash series win, taking on Pakistan in the third ODI from 12:30 this afternoon. Arsenal held City to a 1-1 draw, while Aston Villa have yet to taste victory this season. And Villy Leroux to assist the Springboks with preparation ahead of Saturday's clash with Argentina.
Clear skies in Gauteng today. Johannesburg starting at a low of 12 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria 15 and 30. Vereeniging 12 and 27. The top story in Eyewitness News this hour. National Police Commissioner Palestine Masemola is expected to give his version of what happened with plans to disband the KZN Political Killings Task Team and why more than 120 dockets were taken from the province.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, certainly there's going to be some focus on the National Police Commissioner testifying at the Madlanga inquiry this morning. Will he corroborate some of what we heard from the KZN Police Commissioner, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, who also said Masemola knew about his briefing in July? Remember, this was, of course, the briefing that set the cat amongst the pigeons, if you will. He explained just last week, the KZN Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, the issue of breaking protocol and what that uniform was all about. Remember, that was one of the points of contention as to say, why was he in military fatigues? Have a listen.
It's just unfortunately that when it goes out into the public that I broke protocol when I had that media briefing. I submit that accusation is unfair and is unfounded. They are criticizing me for something that they don't know what it exists in the police as protocols. Beside the fact that we always address the media from time to time as our provincial commissioners who are responsible for provinces. But for that day, I took a liberty to tell the National Commissioner that I'm going to be having a media briefing. And he asked me what for, and I said for the political task team. And indeed, the briefing was about a political task team, just to indicate why this task team is then disbanded. It is because of what we have discovered. So that's what really the briefing was about.
He also dropped a bombshell on Friday when he was speaking at the commission, speaking specifically about the murder of Sindiso Magaqa, former ANC Youth League leader. I thought this was a particularly explosive moment.
The firearm that was used in the murder of Sindiso Magaqa and the vehicle that was used in the murder of Sindiso Magaqa are the resources that came from crime intelligence.
This was General Ndlandla Mkhwanazi dropping a bombshell there. The ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula has responded to some of what he has heard at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry, and he says we've got to give the commission space to get to the heart of the issues it is probing.
President have implemented. Mkhwanazi is on the stand. Let's all observe. The ANC is not going to have a running commentary. We've got a commission, we must respect it, respect the witnesses. If they lie, they will be subjected to the law. They are speaking under oath. So let's observe that, give the judge and his panel the opportunity to ask the work that is important. You know the rule of law. The rule of law is a cornerstone of our constitutional democracy. If the rule of law were to collapse, that story of what the judge is probing is bigger than what Judge Zondo was about. Because me and you, it means we don't have a state, we don't have a government. We are run by cartels and thugs.
Strong words there from Fikile Mbalula, completely, of course, divorcing himself to any idea of how that might have happened if indeed it is determined to be the case. Right, your reactions to all that we've raised on the show this morning. What do you look for in a mayor? Helen Zille says she's ready to take on Johannesburg. She says she's got a fire in her belly. Are you convinced by that? Do you want more of the same? More Dada Morero, for example? Is that where your heart, your brain is leaning? Your thoughts. Let's talk.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
All right, I've got Nokukanya Mtambo and Amuramila in the studio. I guess he spent most of his day yesterday at the DSTV Delicious, hence my brain is thinking about stages, not studios. Are you a gadget person? Are you one of those who's always, because there's all kinds of gadgets, right? They're the ones that you think are going to do wonders for your skin, or you think they're going to be useful for weight loss, or kitchen gadgets, right?
Yeah.
The new thing that chops in a particular way, or the new coffee, what that does this. You want to make fat. So I'm always seduced by those gadgets that can chop vegetables into winding spirals and all kinds of interesting shapes. And of course, do I ever use them? Are you one of those who's a sucker for gadgets? Do you have a partner who's a sucker for gadgets?
I think it depends on what the gadget, because whatever gadget I buy, I make sure that I put it into good use. It matters not if it's difficult for me. For instance, I often look at my Apple Watch to see if my rings are full, even though I didn't make it to the gym on that day. And if my rings are not full, I'll stand up and walk around the yard, or
I'm one of those obsessed people.
I am. I really am. If I buy a gadget, better believe I'm going to use it.
You're going to use it?
Yeah.
No, Kanya?
Not very big on gadgets, hey? As long as I've got my phone and my laptop, that's just about it. Anything beyond that, to be honest. I'm not fishing for any new stuff. I'm not the first one in the shops when something new comes up. No.
Not you.
No, not
That's
really.
what's gone viral from Kabazela, who also wanted to know, have you accidentally left food or something on top of your car?
Talking of things left on the roof, in 1985, a friend and myself, we were on our way to Valdam to go watch some speedboat racing. And we left from Highlands North. And by the time we got to, I think it was the Robertson turnoff on the highway, my friend realized that he had left his camera bag on the top of the car. Well, needless to say, we never saw it again. So it was quite an expensive camera by those standards. But yeah, we never saw it again. Roy.
Hi, good morning, team. I once left my phone on top of the car. Luckily, my pouch for the phone was those rubber-like pouches, and it was a pretty sunny day. So I left my phone there and drove to work from Soweto to Bryanston. And when I got out, my phone was still there, same position, just waiting for me. Thanks, bye.
Morning 702. I once left a scaftini, a lunchbox, going to work on a Monday morning on top of my car. And it was yesterday's food. And, my wife cooked a nice meal. And I drove off. I think someone in my neighborhood tried to stop me, but I didn't pay attention. Till today, I don't know where it fell. I only realized when I got to the office that my scaftine fell somewhere. I don't know where. Jeez. And it was Mampara week. I didn't have money for lunch, so you can imagine the whole day I was thinking about my scaftine. Lebo from Joburg South.
Morning, Bongos. Morning, Tata John. So, offensive from the east. So, what had happened to me was that back in the day, I don't know if you remember, there was that BlackBerry Z10. So, it was new. It was a week old. And then, so I was walking to my car. I had a bunch of things. I was carrying a lot of items. So, I put my phone on top of the car, loaded the car with the items that I was carrying, and then I drove off with the phone on the roof. And that was the last I saw of that phone, offensive from the east.
Bongs and covers. The problem of leaving things on top of the roof of the car is a problem of people that are taller. If you are shorter, it's not your problem because either the car is taller than you or you're on the same height as your car. So it's not an option to put something for some of us on top of the car. Then from this side.
Morning. Left my phone on top of my car along with my wallet. Phone, because of the rubber sleeve, remained on the car. It was a short drive just down the road to get a tire checked. But the wallet was gone. And drove back, checked everything out within minutes, couldn't find it. And went on to lose a number of days of my life to Home Affairs, applying for a new ID, driver's license at the driving department, and with the police applying for a new firearm license. Be very careful. You're going to lose days of your life when you lose your wallet if you leave it on top of your car.
I love all those voice notes. Thank you. Keep them coming in. I appreciate them. Two things stand out for me. Firstly, it's the idea that the shorter people don't put anything on top of their car because they can't reach it anyway. And then Mampara Week.
We're in Mampara Week.
Yeah. No, I got it very clearly. Never heard of the phrase or expression Mampara Week. I had never heard it.
Do your pockets never run dry?
Not to say that the reality of it is unfamiliar, just what to call it. I just thought it was life as normal, right? Colin, you're in Centurion. What did you leave on top of your car?
Bongani, many years ago, as an art student, I was struggling to get some good grades with some creativity. I was rushing for the crit. I get my artwork. I leave it on top of my Beetle roof. Jump in and rush there, so I was nearly late because there was 3 professors coming to crit our work. Then I realized the artwork has fallen down. I drive back, maybe about, 10 cars gone over it already. Put it back together quickly, get up there and place it up there, and then now it's my time to explain my work, and I had to just go with the flow, and I said, these lines are all structured in a way heading towards the focal point in the middle, and you know what? I got my first B ever.
Really?
Ever. It's University of Durban Technology now, but those days it was called Natal Technicon.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. And it led me to actually ending up doing all my artwork in that way. Not even a drop of paint, nothing, and I win the highest mark for painting as a major.
That is absolutely fantastic, because it's all about how you can sell it, right? This
Exactly.
is a
And also you talk about
multi-dimensional,
things happen for
multi-sensory
a reason,
experience. Love it, Colin. Love it.
Thanks, Bongani.
You fooled the professors, right? These lines coming together, intersecting in this multi-dimensional, really opening up all kinds of spaces in your head in parallel.
I don't think this artwork would have won a B if it wasn't driven through by other cars.
Sometimes
it needed that crush.
It happens for a reason, you see.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
Morning, Bongani and the 702 land. I am a sucker for the AirPods by Apple, right? The proper ones, not the ones that you buy there by the corner shop. And I recently lost one of my AirPods. So I lost the right one, the right bud. So I was only left with one. So my life was a misery. So I recently bought myself a new pair just recently. But I could only get the Pro 2s because the Pro 3s were not available countrywide. Now my partner bought me the Pro 3s, but she wants me to give her the Pro 2s. And I don't think I want to give her the Pro 2s. I want the Pro 3, Pro 2, Pro 4, Pro 5, Pro 6, all the pros. I want them all, my precious. My E from Madrid. Thank you. Tango. Great show.
Morning, Bongs and 702 listeners. So it's all about tech. I'm Mr. Genius on TikTok and I do tech reviews. I do try to get my hands on most of the gadgets so that I can keep up with the times. And I review it in front of people so that people can make a concise decision on whether to buy something or not. So yeah, I go under I'm Mr. Genius on TikTok. I do tech reviews. I'm known as the South African tech reviewer. I hope that you play this voice note to gain a couple of more followers. Thanks.
I just love 702 Landers and our crazy, right? You just gotta love it.
Gotta take the opportunity if it presents itself.
But you know, there's a thing about being a gadget person.
Yeah.
I can completely relate to that other voice. We don't want to share.
The 2s and the 3s.
Yeah, because now I've got the new one, but it doesn't mean I don't like the old ones.
Oh.
And the people who want us to share our gadgets usually are the ones who are judging us for getting them in the first place.
So like me.
But now that I have the next one, you want... yeah, I see.
EWN Traffic.
All in good fun. 22 minutes after 8 o'clock. Amo, it's peak hour at this moment, or are things calming down a little?
Well, things are calming down a little in the city of Tshwane, but if you are traveling towards Midrand, we still have got heavy delays on the N1 South between the Brakfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. Olifantsfontein in itself is backed up between the R55 and the N1 exit, while on the N3 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Bakilulis interchange and the Baklu interchange due to roadworks as well as an earlier accident. If you are traveling in the Rosebank area, do expect delays along Oxford Road just as you approach Jellicoe Avenue due to an earlier accident. And there's also an accident reported in Katlehong along the N3 North near Hardwick Road. Delays coming out of Leondale Road. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
This isn't an event, it's a statement. When you choose Thirst Mobile Bar Services, you choose confidence without spectacle. These discreet mobile bars come with expert mixologists and service that speaks louder than words. Every detail is refined, every pour intentional, every guest remembered. Thirst Mobile Bar Services, the perfect ingredient, the perfect outcome for those who expect more and settle for nothing less. Secure your year-end function now at thirst.co.za.
Betway is taking you to dizzying new heights in one of the world's most popular games, Aviator. Place your bets and watch the multiplier climb higher and higher. Pick the right time to cash out and stand to win millions on a single bet. It's all possible from the palm of your hand. Get way more only at Betway. Betway is licensed and regulated by the Western Cape Gambling and Racing Board. No persons under the age of 18 are permitted to gamble. South African Responsible Gambling Program toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710. Winners know when to stop.
Let's count backward. 5. Insurance. 4. Pineapple. 3. Insurance. 2. Pineapple. 1. You're under.
Pineapple FSP 48650 is underwritten by Omart Insure Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP.
Looking for real ways to live greener? Then don't miss Green Tip of the Week, your weekly dose of sustainable inspiration. From eco-entrepreneurs to climate champions, we sit down with the people making real change. Catch Green Tip of the Week every Tuesday afternoon on Afternoon Drive with John Perlman from 3 to 6 p.m. only on 702. And it's proudly brought to you by Volvo. It's safe to be brave with Volvo.
702. The World View
with Adam Gilchrist. Adam Gilchrist, a very good morning to you. I said earlier, every Western capital really falling over each other to recognize a Palestinian state.
It's happening now. I think it's 3/4 of the world's nations recognize it's, after all, not recognize a Palestine that exists, but the right to a Palestine that exists, to Palestinian statehood, to the two-state solution, where there would be a West Bank and Gaza separate to an Israel, but alongside an Israel. So we've already had over the weekend the UK, Australia, Canada and Portugal recognizing it. France, Belgium and Saudi Arabia are set to follow suit. There's a UN meeting in New York today. But could some of these countries maybe have done it on the condition of the release of the hostages? There's certainly a feeling that maybe more pressure could have been applied for Hamas to release the hostages in return for. Portugal's foreign minister has called the two-state solution the only path to a just and lasting peace. But crucially, America's not supporting it. And the Israeli prime minister says there will never be a Palestinian state. So either that's going to have to change or he will have to be changed. At this stage, I think probably we have to wait for the end of Netanyahu, don't we?
There are also critics who say these are just meaningless words because there's not much left in terms of whatever that Palestinian state would look like. It's no longer viable with Gaza being destroyed in the way that it is. In Germany, though, Adam, outrage over anti-Semitism, really.
Yeah, outrage, but I mean small and significant outrage, I suppose we could say, because it's the owner of a small shop in a small town called Flensburg who put up a sign saying Jews are banned. A guy called Hans Weltenreich, 60 years of age. He owns and operates this small shop. He insists he's not a racist, quote, "I'm just a little to the left, a little to the right." Consider his sign that he was forced to take down by police reads, "Jews are banned from here, nothing personal, no anti-Semitism, just can't stand you," which is the very definition of anti-Semitism. It's, by the way, still hanging up inside the store. The Flensburg mayor, Fabian Geyer, has summed up what we're all thinking, that this is a reminder of the darkest chapters of German history. And oh my God, Herr Reich, don't you get it?
What's awful is that, as you say, he's 60 years old, so he wasn't there when all of that was happening. But nonetheless, these ideas just, they refuse to die, don't they, Adam? Tell me about Tesla's troubles.
Well, they've had an issue with the fact people have been trapped inside Teslas when the retractable handles close. In particular, it's the Model Y Tesla. And indeed, there was an accident. The German police have reported on this accident just in the past day or two, about how a man and two children were trapped inside a car and rescuers could not open the doors. And when the emergency services turned up, it was too late. And we've heard about other accidents in America where people have been trapped and some have had to have the windows smashed in order to get out because simply the handles, in an electrical fault, when cars have crashed, they basically break down. America's National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is looking into 170,000 Model Y Teslas. Well, the design chief of Tesla, Franz von Holzhausen, now says they're going to redesign the door handles. Wow, it's taken 5 years and quite a lot of trouble to get there.
And that's this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
29 after 8. On to this now. Nokanya Mdambo, Postbank saying a merger with African Bank Not very likely.
Yeah, Bongani, so this is after last week President Cyril Ramaphosa says government needed to leverage all its assets, including its majority stake in African Bank, in its efforts to form a state bank. The Reserve Bank and the Government Employees Pension Fund hold 50% and 25% shareholdings in the bank. Minority shareholders in the bank include First Rand, Standard Bank, ABSA, Nedbank, Investec and Capitec. Speaking to News 24, Postbank CEO Nikki Mbingashe says the president's comments have been blown out of proportion. She says a merger has never been discussed. To become a state bank, Postbank would need a commercial license approval from the Reserve Bank, a timeline Mbingashe says could take between 18 months to 2 years.
Gosh, 4.8 trillion rand. How many zeros would that even be? I mean, it's a number that's a little hard to fathom.
Yeah.
Why are we talking about it, Nokanya?
So there is an investment push again for state-owned enterprises, this time from the Gulf regions. The South African state-owned companies will meet investors in Dubai this week to discuss opportunities for Gulf states to put money into local infrastructure. This includes cash-strapped agencies, Transnet, Rand Water and the South African National Roads Agency. Government has set an ambitious goal under the National Development Plan to raise infrastructure investment from less than 20% of the GDP to about 30% of GDP by 2030. And this translates to more than 4.8 trillion rand in spending during this decade, which would require a substantial private capital. A 3-day summit hosted by Standard Bank in Dubai will connect SOEs with investors, sovereign wealth funds and corporates in the Gulf region to accelerate infrastructure development and trade between Africa and the Middle East.
Where's the rand?
Trading at 17.35 to the dollar, flat for the morning, but stronger than it was about a month ago. It's where it was about 0.5% weaker than it is right now. 6 months ago, it was almost 5% weaker at 18.22. Still this morning, 20.34 to the euro, 23.35 to the pound. Gold is trading at $3,697 an ounce. Platinum at $1,418. The price of Brent crude at $67.13. That's all we have from business this morning. More on the Money Show with Stephen Curtis later this evening.
Right, time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Stay listening because there's a chance for you to win tickets to the Joy of Jazz happening on the 26th, 27th and 28th of September at the Sandton Convention Center. What a fantastic lineup of artists, including people like the fantastic Amanda Black. You want tickets to those? Stay listening. In the meantime, straight to the EWN News Desk. Good morning again, Aurélie Kalinga.
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. The ANC says it has no issues with parties in the GNU criticising it as campaigning for the upcoming local government elections gets into gear. This weekend saw a number of political activities around Johannesburg. The IFP held a welcoming ceremony for 300 people, it says, are former MK members, while the DA announced Helen Zille as its mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. Thabiso Goba takes a look.
IFP national spokesperson Khuleko Hlengwa says the installation of the presidential task team in the Johannesburg municipality was a tacit admission by President Cyril Ramaphosa that the ANC-led coalition is failing. The DA's mayoral candidate for Johannesburg, Helen Zille, also took a few jabs at the ANC, saying it has failed the people of Johannesburg. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says the criticism from within GNU was always expected as parties still retain their independence.
We don't expect political parties who are our opponents to speak good about the ANC. Our story is a story of the people. How the people respond to the ANC and service delivery is what is important to us. We have said to the people, elect us and we'll serve you better.
Mbalula says the ANC will begin its campaign in earnest next year as it's still focusing on strengthening its local branches. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News.
Cape Town Safety and Security Chief J.P. Smith says he wants a political hit squad allegedly targeting him investigated. Smith was recently vindicated after the Western Cape High Court ruled that an SAPS raid at his office in January this year was unlawful. The raid was part of a probe into tender fraud in the city's construction sector. Carlo Peterson has more.
Mayco member for Safety and Security JP Smith says before the raids at his office earlier this year, he obtained recordings of the suspects colluding against him.
The source of the recording said that the goal was to create a trial by media and that the intention or the belief was not that they would succeed in achieving a conviction, but that they hoped to have me removed from my role as Mayoral Committee member for Safety and Security and my roles in the party.
The High Court's ruling, which declared the raids unlawful, came after Smith filed an application against the then Minister of Police, who played a role in authorizing the raid. Spokesperson for the Minister of Police, Kamagelo Mogotsi.
The ministry has noted the court's ruling and will be guided by the SAPS legal services in respect of the way forward.
Smith says he's hired an investigator to compile an affidavit which will be submitted for SAPS to investigate the persons he believes were behind the raid. Carlo Peterson, Eyewitness News.
Public Works Minister Dean McPherson says he'll ensure public money delivers quality infrastructure by stopping corrupt contractors from doing business with his department. This comes after the Construction Industry Development Board blacklisted 40 contractors. This is the largest group since 2002, when only one contractor was prohibited from providing its services to the department. McPherson says he plans to double down on the rot with the implementation of harsher regulations.
That those who underperform or engage in shoddy work will be held accountable and removed from our system. The CIDB's actions to blacklist these contractors means we have put our words into action. This stands in contrast to the single company that was blacklisted since 2002 to 2024. That situation was completely unacceptable to me.
Last week, Action SA announced it was preparing to lodge a formal complaint with the Public Protector against the National Treasury over a failure to blacklist compromised companies. And more than 10,000 people have been evacuated in the Philippines as heavy rains and gale force winds lash the country's far north. Typhoon Ragasa, which is gaining strength, is expected to make landfall this afternoon. President Ferdinand Marcos took to Facebook to say he's closely monitoring the situation and all government agencies are on alert. The threat of flooding from the typhoon comes just a day after thousands of Filipinos took to the streets to protest a growing corruption scandal involving flood control projects that were shabbily constructed or never completed. A look at the weather. Clear skies for Gauteng, temperatures peaking between 27 and 30 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Glulis interchange. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between Van Buren Road and the Baklu interchange.
The top story, the ANC says it has no issues with parties in the GNU criticizing it as campaigning for the upcoming local government elections gets into gear.
What was known as the Swimming Pool Road in Everton West due to severe waterlogging is now a safely engineered road. When the National Department of Transport called on Sanral for help, we showed up, upgrading it to the highest standards of safety and quality. Today, the community of Mfuleni local municipality have an access road that they can rely on and be proud of. Sanral, an agency of the Department of Transport.
The Music and Lifestyle Expo 2025 comes alive on the 14th and 15th November at the Sandton Convention Center. So this year's theme, Diversity of the Arts, celebrates trade, music, fashion, food, lifestyle in a vibrant two-day experience. Enjoy music from Jonathan Butler, Lira, Thandiswa Mazwai, Ringo, Luan Dunkulu, The Muffins, Ndushezi, and Major League DJs. Tickets at ticketpro.co.za, proudly endorsed by the G20 Summit, the Music and Lifestyle Expo 2025.
Naked people always get dessert. Because naked people spend less money on insurance premiums, they've got more money for Mulva pudding, or cheesecake, or both. With Naked, you can cover your car, home, and stuff in seconds. And because it's all online, it also costs less. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds, and start treating yourself like naked people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP. Get naked.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Hey, 702. I think the person that I would pay money to actually be with and spend time with, have dinner and a chat with, that would be Julius Malema, believe it or not. Yeah, Julius Malema is one of the most influential politicians Africa have seen in a long time, and I don't think we are going to have another Julius Malema in a very long time. So it would be a privilege and an honor just to sit down and pick his brain, apart from what the media says about him. I would just love to sit and hear from him. Yeah, thank you.
Morning, 702 lenders. Morning, team. A special greetings to Nokukanya. Hell, I would spend a dime to be with that lady. Oh, I just love her. Nokukanya, good morning to you, dear. But since you're here in Indonesia.
Good morning, Bongani. Moloi speaking here. For me, I would spend my cash on Patrick Lumumba.
Oh, Patrice Lumumba, of course, really one of the revolutionaries of the African continent, the first Democratic Republic of Congo prime minister following, of course, the end of colonialism and Belgian rule. Brutally killed and assassinated. And, of course, all fingers now point to the CIA in the 1960s. We're asking the question, who would you spend money, say for a good cause, to dine with, to wine and dine? And the person who asked that question was Nokanya Mtambo. And I love that voice note that says she would love to wine and dine Nokanya herself.
EWN Sport.
All right, 20 to 9, Cindy Paluta, let's talk sport. Some cricket today.
Yes, the Proteas women, haven't they been phenomenal? Especially Tasman Brits, who's got a century in both ODIs so far.
So we're looking towards a whitewash now, possibly?
Yes, because today is the third ODI against Pakistan. But more importantly, this is a very important tournament in the build-up to the World Cup that starts on the 30th of September. So
and that's going to be in the subcontinent anyway, right? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so it's looking good for us and our batters. They look phenomenal. In the Premier League, the game starts at 12:30. In the Premier League yesterday, Martinelli came off the bench and scored in the 93rd minute to cancel out Holland's opener as Arsenal and Manchester City finished 1-1. Here's the super sub.
We played really well. I think we were unlucky in certain moments because we had some chances as well. And it was a great ball from ABSA, and I just tried to put it in the back of the net, and really happy with the goal. But we need to work more, and we want to win those games as well.
Bournemouth's goalless result with Newcastle leaves them fourth on the table on 10 points alongside Arsenal and Spurs. Aston Villa have yet to win the season. They were held 1-1 by 10-man Sunderland. Back home, Polokwane scored late into extra time for a 2-1 win over Chippa. Sekekune tops the table 1 point ahead of Sundowns. Team South Africa returns from the World Athletics Champs with 1 bronze medal from the men's 4x400 meter relay. Pele, Ocon, Van Niekerk and Nene finished behind USA with Botswana bagging gold. It's been 8 years since South Africa won a medal at the World Athletics Champs. Here's Wade Van Niekerk.
It's such a privilege finishing somewhat of a gold medal drought with the next potential and the next generation of South African athletes. And I really think this really puts the three of them in amazing position to chase more and more medals. I think I'm glad it's a bronze because now it just gives them reason to fight for silver and gold for themselves individually and then as a team as well.
Springboks called up Willie Leroux to help the team prep for Saturday's game with Argentina. He was not included in Russia's squad of 33, but Apalele Fassi was ruled out due to ankle surgery. Max Verstappen led from start to finish. He won the F1 in Azerbaijan ahead of Russell and Sainz. Championship leader Piastri crashed out on the first lap, while Norris finished 7th. And in netball, Spa Proteas lost to New Zealand 77-51 in their first test match in Auckland. The second test is on Wednesday. Cindy Paluta, Eyewitness News Sport.
Away, could I courier this pair of custom flame graffiti chucks? One of a kind, bruh.
Sure, fire. Where your guy, my guy?
My recipe book with all my secrets.
Those secrets are safe with us. We're your guy.
Can I send my beanbag chair? It's shaped like a fat cook.
Of course you can. We're your guy. With over 4,000 fast and flexible ways of couriering your parcel, locally and internationally, whatever you need couriered, we're your guy. The Courier Guy. Visit thecourierguy.co.za.
There are 1,500 reasons to get an OUTsurance car insurance quote today. You heard it here. If OUTsurance can't beat your car insurance premium, you can ask them for 500 Rand cash. Make that 1,500 Rand if you've been claim-free with the same insurer for 3 years. Savings or cash, you always get something out. Get a quick and easy quote today. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za. A licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
You've reached in his Renault Duster en route to Dullstrom. This journey is taking to try a sport far more boring than its name might suggest. Fly. Fishing. He'll be in his Renault Duster, which he bought with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance.
Leave it all behind in the new Renault Duster with 40,000 Rand trade-in assistance. Offer exclusive to Renault Financial Services. Product of ABSA. T's and C's apply.
EWN Traffic.
8:45. Let's wrap up the morning's traffic. Amo?
Someone was saying on the YouTube that we seem like we're in high spirits today. And of course we are. Who wouldn't be in high spirits on a Monday to be back with the 702 lenders?
Oh, you say that to all the girls.
Well, if you're traveling on the N3 North, bumper-to-bumper traffic between Van Buren Road and the Buccleuch interchange. There's also queuing traffic along the N12 as well as the R24 West between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange. Otherwise, if you're heading towards Midrand, please be on the lookout for traffic volumes on the N1 South between the Brockfontein interchange and Olifantsfontein Road. More traffic updates at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Every pothole, power cut, or burst pipe tells a story of frustration. But how that story ends is up to you. Fix Local helps you report local issues, escalate them, or as a last resort, fix them yourself safely and legally. It empowers you with tools to work with or hold local government to account so you can build the neighborhood you deserve. Visit fixlocal.org.za to take up issues in your area. 702 supports Fix Local. Let's walk the talk and fix local together.
We're going to make insurance great again. We're going to build a wall around high premiums. A big wall. The best wall. And guess what? You're not paying for it. We're going to grab poor service by the policy. It's going to be tremendous. Believe me.
This message has absolutely nothing to do with the US government. It's paid for by the King of Insurance, who's making insurance great again. Get a quote now. It'll be the best decision, people are saying, ever. King Price is a licensed FSP. No fake news, just like her insurance.
Running a business is tough. You need tools that just work. That's why more South African businesses are switching to Mac. At iStore, we make it easy with 4,000 Rands in added value when you switch. That's 3 years extended warranty and remote tech support, leaving you to focus on everything else. Switch to Mac with iStore, your expert partner. T's and C's apply. Mac at iStore. Run smooth as business should.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.
Here we go. 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 Africa's premier jazz festival taking place this coming weekend, the 26th, 27th, and 28th September 2025 at the Sandton Convention Center. An exciting lineup of headlining jazz stars. And we have double tickets for Saturday, the 27th of September. Would you like to win? Really? Why don't you send us a WhatsApp voice note to 072 702 1702? Answer this, would you? What is the name of the musician whose debut single was called Amazulu and who will be performing at the Joy of Jazz this weekend? Send us a WhatsApp voice note now to 072 702 1702 to win a pair of double tickets to this Saturday's Standard Bank Joy of Jazz.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
Coming to you from Durban in KZN, the Clement Manyatela Show between 9 and 12. Clement Manyatela, what are you doing in Durban and what's on the show?
Well, we're in Durban this morning at the Albert Luthuli International Convention Center, Bongani, for the highly anticipated Resurgence Conference. We've been talking about it all week on 702 last week. It's being held under the theme, A thicker slice of the economic pie. Access, connect, thrive. So this is a program that includes an international exhibition. There's going to be business-to-business engagements aimed at advancing trade and investment. So we're going to have some interviews from here as well on the 702 open line. But we're also going to talk about Helen Zille, whom you spoke to just before 7 o'clock on your show. She has been announced as the mayoral candidate for Johannesburg. So we will be asking who are some of the contenders really that would be strong contenders against Helen Zille. So that's what's coming up on the open line. And then at 10 o'clock, you spoke to who could be the potential mayor of Johannesburg. We'll be speaking to who's still the mayor of Johannesburg, Dada Morero. He was in Parliament on Friday, and he has now been given, together with Joburg Water, 14 days to present concrete solutions to alleviate the ongoing water supply disruptions that have left many residents without water for prolonged periods. At 10:30, we continue with the series we started last week, where we really look at things that science can't explain. And today we're going to be discussing manifestation. And then we wrap up the show at 11 o'clock with our Family Matters feature. Today we're discussing the empty nest syndrome, that grief that many parents feel when their children move out of home.
All coming up between 9 and 12, The Clement Manyatela Show.
There's strong, then there's AfriSem Strong. So champion the build with AfriSem Cement, the trusted A1 choice for builders who demand nothing less than superior quality. Crafted for exceptional strength, proven durability, and proudly produced in Mzansi. Because some builds just aren't strong. They're built to last with AfriSam, proud official sponsor to the Springboks.
This is Jade. She'll spend hours comparing almond milk and once made a spreadsheet just for sneakers. But when she found Santam, ASA's leading short-term insurer that offers a range of cover options, from vehicle to building and home contents, even she didn't overthink it. The kind of freedom Santam gives you takes some getting used to. Speak to your broker. Santam, this is freedom. Santam is an authorized FSP, a licensed non-life insurer and controlling company for its group companies.
All South Africans have the responsibility to ensure the environment is clean, green, and habitable. Make a conscious decision to stop buying plastic bags with all your purchases. Rather use reusable bags every time you do your grocery shopping. Help look after our country's biodiversity by cleaning up the areas around you through organizing or joining local cleanup campaigns. Act now. Throw it in the bin. Don't litter. Don't dump. Keep South Africa clean. This message brought to you by the Department of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
There is a saying about the children being our future. And sometimes people sing it just as a song. But every now and again, something special comes along that is a true embodiment of the idea that we want to leave this world a better place than we found it for the country's future. And that's exactly what we're talking about today, putting a spotlight on that future through singing, through dancing, through proving the depth of talent we have in this country. What am I talking about? Born to Perform 2025. The future takes the stage, and it's on at the Monte Cassino Teatro, and we're joined firstly by the founder and principal of StageWorks School of the Performing Arts, Gemma Marinas. A very good morning to you. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I've been looking so forward to this conversation because you've also brought one of your bright stars, Simphiwe Ndlovu, who is 12 years old and one of the scholars and one of the students at StageWorks. Simphiwe, welcome to 702 Breakfast. Thank you for popping in.
Thank you for having me.
Firstly, I'm going to start with you, Gemma. Tell me about the work that you've been doing and StageWorks School of the Performing Arts.
Yeah, so our philosophies lie in understanding that creativity and the arts is so much more than just the round of applause that you get at the end of a performance. Young people manage to find who they are. They find a confidence. They can discover interconnections with people that they perhaps wouldn't have interconnected with before. So our foundations at the school is exactly that. It's an open door for kids from across the country to come in and experiment the arts, whether they choose to go into this as a career or not, but to use it as a foundation to be able to find their journey, their pathway, deal with past traumas through the arts as well.
As a parent, one of my core philosophies of parenting is perhaps the biggest gift you can give your child is confidence.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, Simpiwe, you've got it in buckets.
Thank you.
As a performer, as somebody who enjoys creative education, what does it feel like to have had this opportunity with Stageworks?
Honestly,
just gonna ask you to come a little closer to the microphone. There we go.
Honestly, it changed my life, and it just made life a lot better and interesting, because I didn't know that I had the talent of singing, of acting, of dancing. And I'm just so thankful to Stageworks and Gemma for giving me the wonderful opportunity and the scholarship, because I feel like the scholarship has opened a lot of doors in my life that I couldn't open by myself. So yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And tell us about the scholarship that Simpiwe and others have received, Gemma.
Yeah, so I'm originally from the UK, and my life was completely changed by a scholarship for a performing arts college on that side. So when I came across here, I came with a show, fell in love with South Africa, decided that I wanted to stay in the country and open up a school to give kids the same opportunities as what I was very blessed to have had. And part of my philosophy was always that part of the pie that comes in has to be given back to kids that can't afford to be able to have training. So once a year we do an audition call out where we have kids that come in that are supported for the whole year from Simpiwe's age, from like 8 or 9 all the way through to adults, of which we provide scholarships for those kids to be able to come through and train with us. And Simpiwe, when he walked in, you know, you can see
That X factor. It's that X factor. There's a magic in his eyes, that beautiful smile, that confidence, and we're going to hear the talent in just a moment. All right, so tell me about Born to Perform. What's happening at the Teatro?
Yeah, so it's a youth spectacular, really showing off the talent that we have in this country. It is inspiring, motivational. It's the voices of the kids through the arts. We've built a lot of bridges with other schools as well. So part of the platform is for us to be able to showcase what schools that generally are not given the opportunity to show what they're doing in the arts departments are now doing. So we have St. Vincent School of the Deaf, we have National School of the Arts, we have King David Victory Park, Bryanston High, and then the best kind of youth vocalist dancers in the country sharing their message of hope and bravery. And I think it's a show that for adults, generally the feedback we get is they walk away feeling optimistic about the future, because these kids walk on stage and they give their heart and soul, and they actually teach us, you know, so much about positivity. I think sometimes in South Africa we can be quite negative about the country, but these kids show us that anything is possible and we can make changes if we need to.
All right, Simpiwe, I have spoken about your confidence. And can you give us a little taste of what it is you do and some of your magic?
Definitely.
Take it away.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Shadowland, the leaves have fallen. This shadowed land, this was our home. The river's dry, the ground has broken, so I must go. Now I must go.
Oh, absolutely stunning. If people want to see this, what do they need to do, Gemma?
Please go to Web Tickets and type in Born to Perform, and then the shows will come up. We have shows this weekend, Saturday at 1:30 and 6:30, and Sunday at 12 o'clock and 5 o'clock at the Teatro at Monte Casino.
Simphiwe Ndlovu, what a talent you are. The future is bright, my friend. I can't wait to see some of the amazing things you are still going to do. Your journey has just started. Gemma Marinas, what a fantastic scholarship. I mean, to hear that and to see you perform live on stage. I mean, if you think that's all there is to Simphiwe, think again, because you have to see him performing live to be able to appreciate the full spectrum of his abilities.
Absolutely, yes. He's performing with a 30-piece choir from National School of the Arts. So it really is, it's quite incredible when you see it.
Absolutely fantastic stuff.
Thank you.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
All right, a pair of double tickets to the Joy of Jazz this weekend. We asked you to send us a WhatsApp voice note to 072-702-1702 to answer a very simple question. One of the musicians was performing. Debut single was called Amazulu. What is the name of that singer? Tejo in Centurion. Do you know the answer?
Yes, Bongani, I know the answer. It's Amanda Black.
Amanda Black, of course it is. Tejo, you have won yourself a pair of double tickets to this weekend's Joy of Jazz, the Standard Bank Joy of Jazz. See you there.
Thank you.
See you there. You stay on the line and the producers will get your details. We're going to be doing this most of the week. And of course, if you don't get to win on air, buy your tickets and see you at the Standard Bank of Jazz. What a fantastic Monday it's been. Great start to the week. Stay listening to 702. Of course, the big focus, no doubt, is going to be on the National Police Commissioner taking the hot seat at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. It's 9 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Aurélie Kalinga. National Police Commissioner Fanny Masimola is expected to give his version of what happened with plans to disband the KZN Political Killings Task Team and why more than 120 dockets were taken from the province. Those are just two of the issues that KZN Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi spoke about in his evidence at the Madlanga Commission last week. He also reaffirmed